First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Hi there, friends. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta, and you see on the bottom of the screen there, we have a storm threat all across the First Coast here on our Sunday, a weather impact alert in place through Monday morning for widespread rainfall and continuous rainfall. That's going to be one of the big issues. One round of precipitation after another is going to kick across our area. We got even some strong to severe storms possible, especially as we go ahead through this afternoon when instability flaring up out there. So, a lot of you probably watching right now on our First Coast News app. Can't thank you enough. But if you're also watching on our social media platforms, we have comments enabled so you can ask questions, help plan out your day, and even heading into tomorrow morning as well. But yeah, once again, a weather impact alert in place. We issue these not to cause panic. We're not trying to hype things. I get nothing out of hyping the weather. I just try to be real with you guys here. And today's going to be messy. That's why we're streaming live here at 8:30 in the morning after Good Morning Jacksonville. I hope you please stopped by and watched the show today. We had plenty to talk about, but now plenty going on out there, so let's get into it. Like I said, we're streaming live here at a few different spots, so I'm going to make sure I'm actually going to, you know what, I'm going to share out my my stuff here to my page if you follow me at Robert Speta Weather here on Facebook. All right, so you know what I'm going to show you first? We have this, and it looks like a disabled vehicle. Multiple cars look like actually involved in a wreck there on the Dames Point Bridge, down to one lane at this time. So some pretty big backups. Excuse me. Coming across the bridge right now, and it looks like about 2-3 cars involved. You got a fire truck out there, a couple, a road ranger there. Everybody's going to the northbound side, so everybody's going to have to go to the right lane there. It's exceptionally slow. Now, what I can tell you is that the roads have been slick, obviously, this morning because of the fact that we've been looking at some pretty decent heavy rainfall already here this morning on our Sunday. And take a look, we'll do a little walk around on the radar. I want to start off with that Dames Point Bridge wreck, though, because if you have plans on traveling on it, especially northbound, it's going to be a bit messy. Let's look at this, though. We did have these showers, and, you know, I'm going to loop back here. How about we go back the last 2 hours here. So throughout the duration of Good Morning Jacksonville, we were tracking these storms. They marched their way across the First Coast. You can see that shot that moved across, brought the rain there on Dames Point, but also downtown over towards the beaches. The heaviest stuff we have been seeing kind of continuous is out there towards from Folkestone out towards Brunswick area. Just this line, this training that we've been seeing. When I say training, imagine this arrow right here. That's a train. We got one car after another passing on by. So when you get that, the ground doesn't have time to really soak up the moisture that's falling from the sky. And think of a sponge. You soak up a sponge, and then you try to pour more water on it. It's not going to be able to soak up more more moisture, which means we could be looking at some flooding. And that is why, in fact, we have a flood watch that's in place across the First Coast here. And I'm actually going to try to pull up that graphic real quick here for you guys. Remember, you know, this isn't the cleanest when I'm working on these during our live updates. It's not linear television. I'm here to take your questions, answer them. We're bouncing around here back and forth, so just keep that in mind as you're watching here. This is definitely an interactive idea here with these, but here we go. You can see me building it, and I'll take off the lightning on the map there, so a little less confusing. So yeah, a flood watch through Monday morning here, issued by the National Weather Service out of Jacksonville here because of the said training impacts we're going to be getting here with that one round of rain after another pushing across our area. So we refresh. Remember, we're also streaming on Facebook and YouTube. If you guys have any questions, we got a live chats enabled there, kind of keeping you informed with some of the latest information here, and we'll try to answer your questions. Let's take a look at the broader picture because, you know, we got our first round number 1 of rain moving on out. round number 2 is on its way. And that's for Jacksonville, but I think it's going to be pretty continuous, stretching from Brunswick back towards Waycross, Folkestone, and all the way back towards Valdosta. But then there's this line, which we're going to be concentrating on, now moving into Suwannee County over towards Columbia and the Lake City pretty soon. And that line looks like it's packing a bit of a punch here. So we don't have any warnings at the moment from the National Weather Service. But, I did just get a push notification. I say, because I'm a little excited about this. You see the radar doing its thing there in Valdosta out at Moody Air Force Base? That was down for the last 2 hours. It just came back online. In fact, let's take a look at we're going to go backwards. We're going to work our way backwards. See how the data's not there? Data's not there. And this is why we love our friends at the National Weather Service, because without them, we wouldn't have this stuff. And we wouldn't have the technicians, not only their forecast, but the technicians to help get that back online really quick, especially on a day today where our WSR 88s, excuse me, the official name of our weather radar out there, goes down. We need those guys, not only for reflectivity, but velocity, things like that, for that chance of any tornadoes. Back closer to Jacksonville, though, we're watching some rain kind of work its way off there towards Jack's Beach, starting to march its way offshore as well. And like I said, it's one round of rain after another, so we have that flood watch in place. So if you're just jumping in now, I'm going to say what I said at the start here. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. We're tracking some rough weather out here today. Not the worst weather. It's not a hurricane, guys, but the big issue is widespread rain. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms as well possible in our forecast here. Throughout the day, mainly this morning, a little break midday, and then again tonight. And then even heading into your Monday morning commute, I expect this precipitation to kind of kick on through. I can walk it by here with our hour-by-hour Futurecast. And you know what? This is through this morning. Here's that round of rain we got going on right now. I think some pretty decent initialization. We're going to see a little bit of a break midday for Jacksonville, but it's going to stay kind of continuous across southeast Georgia. So we're extending some of our northern counties of the First Coast here from east to west with that rainfall. And then you can see as this continues to look ahead through midday. We get kind of a break, but then again tonight, the cold front, and we get closer to the actual low-pressure center overnight. That's going to kick overhead, and that's going to help enhance the stability. We have the daytime heating out there, and we might see the risk of some supercell development, which is why, and we don't take this lightly, despite being a lower chance. Hold on. Trying to pull up my graphic here. It's still not a zero chance of tornadoes here. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center is giving it a 2% chance of tornadoes here through this afternoon. I know you say 2% doesn't sound like a lot. It's not, but it's not zero either. Excuse me. It's not zero either. So it's just something to keep in mind. I am going to bounce back to this graphic because we did just get some information here, and this is why we do these chats live. Try to give you some of the latest and greatest, and what I'm going to try to pull up real quick, because we did just get a new warning in. It's not a tornado, it's not a severe weather warning, it's nothing like that, but we did just get a special weather statement all the way out there to northwestern Columbia County. You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to read this guy off right here for you, give you a little. For our friends in Lake City, we got winds at moving east at 45 miles per hour. That's good to know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I change. Okay, we're at 45. It's moving east at 45 miles per hour, looking at that chance of, enough winds to knock down some tree limbs, things like that, as the storms move off through. Even minor hail could be taking place in this one. This is a special weather statement. It is not a severe weather warning. It's like one level below. So think of if you're talking about sports per se. This is a feeder team for a professional team. So if you're talking about, the Icemen out here, they're an ECHL team. And then you got the Americans, they feed up to that. That would be more of the severe weather warning. And then the Buffalo Sabres would be a tornado warning. You got these levels here. So the special weather statement in the weather world is more of the Jacksonville Icemen. How about that? There's a little sports analogy for my sports buffs out here. That still could be definitely messy. And this is all attached to this whole line that's working its way from west to east here as we continue to monitor this whole line. Actually, Fernandina Beach looking at some pretty decent showers and even a couple rumbles of thunder. It looks along the St. Mary's River there too. So, yeah, it's a multifaceted storm system here. Once again, I'm going to go back to the chat, see if we got anybody jumping in. Got a couple likes on here. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. Let me know where you're watching from, though. I really appreciate that. Just give me a little shout here so I'm not talking to myself. If you are watching here on Facebook or YouTube, if you're watching at FCN Plus, I appreciate that, too. Any way we can get more information out there to share with you guys. Let's go back to this live look, though. This is out at the Dames Point Bridge. It looks like they got it all coned off. If you're just joining in at the start of this just took place right when we started off here. Pretty decent wreck shutting down multiple lanes on the Dames northbound. We're looking south right here. In fact, let me pull up the latest information from Florida 511. It says it's loading. That's fantastic. I'm going to hit refresh and let's see if I can get it now. Information's not popping up there, but I can see what we got right in front of us here. Multiple cars involved, roads down to one lane, so obviously some pretty decent backups there. So if you're going to be heading across the Dames Point Bridge, just keep that in mind. It is not going to be a easy go or a fast go if you're going from Arlington out there towards the north side. So that'd be traveling towards the north there. Just something to keep in mind. And you know what? I'm not blaming this on the rain, but I am going to tell you that, it has been raining in this particular area. Over the last hour, we actually had some decent showers that moved across Jacksonville with some flashes of lightning in there. Not severe, but not dry. So you get people maybe groggy after skipping ahead an hour this morning, and you get combine that with slick roads and not pleasant whatsoever. So let's go back to our outlook here, and I'm going to go one more time through our Futurecast. We're going to talk about the rest of the day because I had people asking me, how about this morning? Can I go for a hike this morning? Actually, we had Brenda commented on my page earlier today, was asking me, I want to go for a hike. This was about 7 a.m. and I said, I believe she's out at Amelia Island. So you got to get it done now because that rain already moved in. Now, I do believe midday we're going to have a little bit of a break. But then as we look ahead through the rest of today, and actually let's rewind this a little bit. As we go ahead through about noontime, there's a little bit of a break. But then through this afternoon, heading into the evening, the showers are going to pick back up again. This is by 9, 10 o'clock tonight. We got these strong southerly winds coming in that could help. Maybe if there's enough shear in the atmosphere, create some rotation for a few supercells here through this afternoon heading into the evening, which is why, once again, there's that severe weather threat that's taking place on top of the heavy rainfall threat, which I think is going to be a big issue. And then this is by tomorrow morning, so 7, 8 o'clock here on Good Morning Jacksonville. We're going to have some scattered showers. And on the back side of that, it's going to be windy. So maybe I know there's no events going on at the Players here Monday. It's media day. But it is going to be windy. If anybody's going to be going out and doing a little golfing, you're going to be wanting to watch out for that chop out there for sure before those winds start to back off heading into our Tuesday. So a marginal risk of severe weather. The entire First Coast encompassed in that here today. Low confidence in the chance of hail or tornadic storms, but definitely the heavy rainfall threat being the major issue. Let's look at the sunrise here over downtown Jacksonville. And once that sun comes up, you can see, there was that shot of rain that actually, let's go back through that. That was pretty cool. First time I'm seeing this time lapse. There was that shot of rain right there. Here we go. Watch the time frame at the top. So we had sunrise coming up there. about 7:30. There's a leading edge of that shelf cloud that worked its way on through. See all the rain on the camera. Backside, got a little bit of blue skies, but we're still looking at another round of rain. You see the shelf cloud, the next low-level clouds kind of working their way in from the west behind that. So, I mean, my goodness. So our fantastic editor out here, Sally, just sent me a message, said, crash in on the Dames Point Bridge. For those of you who have been following here, we were talking about what's going on out there, the Dames Point, that traffic backup. Let's see, I-295 north at the Dames Point, 2 left lanes blocked. Yeah, so pretty much what we're seeing right now. So we're keeping an eye on that at the moment. But definitely, if you're driving out there, we're dealing with the rain, slick roads, and of course the backups with that. Back to the forecast, friends. Let's go take a look at our hour by hour for the rest of today. Scattered showers, really, we're getting a little bit of a break, but then that next line of storms going to kick on in here by 10 o'clock. Some decent thunderstorms. That next line I told you about that's approaching Lake City at this time will eventually make its way to Jacksonville, and then midday we get a next break. Then we get another round of rain, probably just around dinner time, maybe a little break after that. And then it's just these pulses. There's just energy-rich environment and instability across not only the First Coast, but the entire Southeast, all the way out towards the Gulf Coast, too. And by tonight, we have another round of storms that are going to move on in. And this is round, these waves, this training that we're seeing, one after another, is going to add up the moisture, which is why we have a flood watch in place. Because look at this, 4 to maybe 5, some isolated spots could see 6 inches of total precipitation from this, which, alone, this rain amounts is not that bad, but when you get it one after another in the same location over a semi-short period of time, it has no time to soak it up, that's when we could be looking at that pretty serious threat of some localized flooding, at least along the I-10 corridor here. So heavy rain threat, definitely on the high side today. We could see some damaging winds with a few of these stronger storms too, and a brief tornado is low. I mean, I said earlier 2% chance, which I know sounds minuscule, but we don't get that very often on the First Coast outside of hurricanes. The environment just needs to be right. The instability needs to be there, and we for sure have that that chance of those ingredients setting up through, especially this afternoon. I'm not thinking that right now, but as we go ahead through this afternoon, that threat is going to be there. So here we go. Hey, I got a couple comments on our Facebook and our YouTube. So I'm going to try to read some of these out here. We're going to answer a few of your questions. Always remember, keep that discourse weather related. If you want to insult my beard and tell me you don't like it, that's fine. But sometimes we stray in the comments. And this is about meteorology, guys. So, Kathy says, about 6 a.m., we had a lovely thunder and light show at Cumberland Harbor and St. Mary's. Now it is 8:37. Ooh, goodness. Called me out and taken about 7 minutes to read your comment. Sorry about that, Kathy. Yeah, Cumberland Island. I'm going to get to everybody here, I promise. So just stand by. We're going to walk through some of this. Cumberland Island in Jekyll, Brunswick. I was watching you guys. You got some pretty decent showers that kicked on through. Looks like, Brunswick still got a little rain, as you mentioned. A little dreary out there. But it looks like the heavier of the storms kind of moved away. That area in white, by the way, just offshore of Jekyll, that is a special marine warning. So hopefully no one's boating out there right now. My goodness, if you are, you made bad decisions. Wendy says, good morning. Hey, good morning, Wendy. I've always watching, could listen to weather talk all day. I would love to talk about weather all day, but I am going to be taking breaks. And then meteorologist Ross Muma will be here. But our goal for today is to just keep this stream going for you. If goodness, I hope we don't, but if we do have any tornadic storms that develop, we're going to jump the stream over to a live broadcast. But for now, it's a stream. and we're going to try to keep it casual, talk about this rain, answer your guys' questions, and even if we get some severe storms out here, looks like that warning just dropped actually. If we get some severe storms, we'll be tracking them here for you. Make sure everybody is staying safe. Brenda, jumping in. Brenda, I just gave you a shout out a few minutes ago. I said you were asking this morning about going for a nice walk on the beach this morning. I hope you got your hike in before the heavy rain started out there at Fernandina Beach. Cheryl says, love the Iceman analogy. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I try to make meteorology relatable, not relatable, but understandable. I could sit here all day and talk about CAPE, convective potential energy, upward vertical motion, and the vorticity aloft, and helicity, and all that jazz. But then I understand that not everybody gets it. But we talk about the analogy, especially with the warnings. I'm happy that you got that and the different level of warnings there. So thank you very much for stopping on by, asking that question. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Jumping over to YouTube, Heather Smith says, good morning from the Regency, Arlington area there in Jacksonville. Cloudy here, no winds, watching on YouTube. Thank you for the updates. Thank you for stopping by, Heather. Truly appreciate it. And I love that every comment so far has been weather related. You guys are fantastic. Sunday morning crowd is the best crowd. Thanks for waking up here. I hope everybody got enough sleep. I got a story to tell you here in just a minute. And watching all the way from Tallahassee, Mary W., because we're going on vacation. Let me read this again. I'm watching all the way from Tallahassee, and I'm watching this because we have a vacation to get on Monday. Now, good news. Now, are you leaving, Mary, Monday morning? Are you going to be leaving from Tallahassee and heading east? Because Monday morning might be still a little messy. But Monday afternoon, you should be fine, but it is going to be windy. So if you're driving an RV on your vacation, just be ready because there's going to be a solid crosswind along I-10, and even I-75 for that matter, that could be a bit shaky on your drive. So just something to keep in mind. The early morning, so if you leave by 8, 9 o'clock, you're going to be fine as far as the rain, but then it's going to be a little bit shaky out here. So yeah, good. Thanks for watching, Mary, though. I appreciate you. Actually, I was just watching Tallahassee's camera this morning, and it looked messy. By the way, speaking of cameras, we're gonna focus on the special weather statement here just for a moment, because so when we talk about meteorology, and I'm not going to get too far in the weeds of this, I'm going to try my best to keep it simple. But we also look for notches on these radars, and there's a little area there just around Jasper that the velocity doesn't look all too serious right now. There is, of course, a special weather statement out on it, so there's that. But it has me. Whoops. Okay. Let me go back to that. I scrolled away and then it didn't hit save. So yeah, it has. Oh, Fargo's got a nice little special weather statement going on out there too. Of course, if you're talking about the first coast, these are just on the side of it. But boy, these are kicking off some decent storms. So what I'm gonna do is jump over to our. We're still. I'm gonna jump over to a camera around Jasper. Let me see if I got anything that kind of looks. Where did I say Jasper and Fargo? I got a couple cameras out in that direction. Well, there's this one, which is just outside of Jasper, but it doesn't look that intense. I'm going to try to get to one a little bit inside of there so we can get an idea of what it looks like on the ground. Yeah, that looks just dark and dreary. We'll get a little bit closer to the city there where we're getting some of these heavy rainfall. This is actually on I-75 just west of Jasper, just around Route 6 here. And yeah, it's coming down out that way. That's on I-75. So I just pulled up a camera just towards the west of Jasper, trying to get inside one of these special weather statements too. So yeah, that actually is right on the special weather statement. So we're going to zoom in a little bit further towards the south. My goal, if I go south of that, I just want to give you guys a good image of the cloud approaching this area here. And maybe we might be able to get a good view of the sky So it just shows you what we're talking about with these storms kind of coming off into that direction there. So, I don't really see anything too good. It's kind of hard to get some good shots out in this area because it is a little bit more remote. So I think this one might be a good shot of that storm approaching. Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks for your replies, too. Got a couple good questions on here already here this morning. Yeah, it looks like the leading edge of that storm starting to work its way on in. Just in the foreground, you see some scud kind of working its up. That's along I-75, just west of Jasper. We're talking about way out in Suwannee County. So this is a little bit towards the west of the First Coast, but it gives you a good idea. Actually, you see the reducing the visibility. And look at the trees in the foreground starting to pick up. This is a special weather statement on this one. So this is expecting about 40, 45 mile per hour winds based on velocity with this as it kicks on through. So yeah, pretty solid storm there kicking on by. Yeah. Oh, I just saw from the National Weather Service, I was giving praise to the techs out there at Moody Air Force Base. I don't know if they're civilians or the fantastic ETs, as we call them in the Navy. They got that radar back on, but our WSR-88 now working again, so we can actually track this storm pretty nicely moving across the Jasper area. Got a couple other, as we watch this together, the storm cruise down I-75, and then I'll get back to the broader picture here in a moment. I'm going to read some of these questions off here. Socorro, nice name, solid name. Hola. Ohio gozaimasu, as I say in Japanese. Cheryl says, is the next wave going to come far enough to hit Mandarin? Yes. It does look like that. The one you're talking about, the one we're watching right now, moving across Jasper, heading towards Lake City, that probably won't be arriving until about 10 to noon time, but I believe that one is going to encompass all of Jacksonville through about lunchtime. So Mandarin, you are going to be looking at that chance of rain. But then after that pushes through, you're going to have a little bit of a break after that as it moves off there towards the east. So hopefully that answers your question, Cheryl. Of course, I'm going to go back through and walk through this timing here again with our extended outlook too. Mary W. says we have to leave 7 a.m. sharp on Monday morning from Tallahassee, you said, right? So, you know what? I got a couple questions about the timing of things here. So let's go ahead and we're gonna come back to our camera, watch conditions really get messy out there. So first off, we kind of have our initial line, and this that next line, this is kind of depicting. It's not exact because this is a model, and the models are only so good. But I think it's depicting that next wave we're watching approach Lake City out towards Suwannee County right now. So this shows about 11:30 kicks on by. And then we get that little bit of a break in the back side of it, not completely clear. And then another round of rain arriving around dinner time. And then another round after sunset heading into tonight, which I think this one, you can even see actually in the model, it's picking up on it a little bit. Some of these kind of little pointy spots in the bottom. See out there towards Gainesville, just on the Big Bend area. That actually is the model trying to depict maybe some supercell development, which I find extremely interesting. We pull back the broader picture. You're talking about Tallahassee. So 7 a.m. sharp. So this is our guidance at 6-7. It looks like Tallahassee already kind of the rain's ending. Jacksonville will still be in it, and maybe even that chance of some pretty decent thunderstorms around 6-7 a.m. But if you're heading out from the west, heading towards the east, conditions should be you'll be driving in behind it, and things will clear out. But remember, after this storm moves away Monday morning, it will still be windy all day long. So multiple layers here with this storm system. But just remember, today here on our Sunday, all day, we're going to have on and off rainfall. And I believe everybody on the First Coast, from Waycross to Flagler Beach, you're probably going to get in on the rainfall. The more widespread stuff will be further north, especially in the southeast Georgia. The rain's going to be the big issue. And then south of I-10, thunderstorms this evening will be the big issue. So one is going to be talking more about the rain. The other is going to be more about the chance of some severe weather. And it all has to do with who's going to get more sunshine, where this area of low pressure is going to be set up at. And I actually have a graphic right here, kind of depicts what I'm talking about. So the heavier of the rain further towards the north. I said north and south at the same time. Towards the north, so that's where you see about 4, maybe 6 inches. And then unstable, what's isolated supercells further towards the south. And that's basically where you're going to have a little bit more instability, but not as much rainfall, if that makes any sense whatsoever here. I'm trying my best, guys. Yeah. Hopefully that answers a question or two on that. Let's go back to Jasper. Yeah, it's raining out there. Yeah, still coming down. Elizabeth says, I'm traveling from Daytona, hopefully to get a dry window. If you're traveling this morning and you haven't left yet, I would say, and you know what? Let's pull up the satellite and radar for you, Elizabeth. So let's pull back our picture. So I would say right now, if you can leave at the moment and just book it north, do the speed limit. Be careful. The roads are slick. It'll be your best time for the time being because we do have a little bit of a break. But then we're watching this pretty nasty storm system now approaching Columbia County, and eventually all that will shift towards the east. So as we get closer to lunchtime, we're going to see that pass over Jacksonville. And then if you have to wait after that, you'll probably want to wait until around late afternoon. You should get another break on I-95. It's these pulses of energy out here today. That's just one after another here, Elizabeth. So hopefully that helps you out. Brenda says, I did get my walk in and a mile run. Yeah, you're on top of it. Whew. Hopefully this break materializes later for more. That is motivation. Brenda, by the way, if I'm saying her name here on our chat on Facebook, you guys, she is a just fantastic weather watcher. We have our Weather Watchers Facebook page where people post some photos, and every morning, like clockwork, she always posts just some of the greatest sunrises and sunsets. I try to use them as much as I can. Sometimes we just don't have enough time. But if you guys want to, especially if you're watching on Facebook, look up FCN Storm or like my typing here, or First Coast News Weather Watchers. And after the stream, maybe when I get a moment here, I'll make sure you get approve you, and we can you can share some photos of the weather. Maybe get on air for this evening on First Coast News. So Michelle says, just hopped on from Bradford County. Thanks for stopping by, Michelle. Actually, you know what I'm going to do for Bradford County, because I know you're going to get hit by this line. Where are you at? Stark area? We're tracking this as it's shifting off. You know, I don't think that's quite right. Let me loop this real quick. So that looks like it's basically moving west to east, not so much east-southeast. So I'm going to pull up this again. This is all part of meteorology, guys. A little progging, little analysis. So, yeah, Lake City, this is going to... Yeah, I probably can move it back a little bit because I didn't really hit it right on. I'm gonna redraw this. That was a terrible draw. All right. Well, there we go. That's a lot better. Now we'll move this off towards the east. So this is the next line of storms, and this one's packing a punch. Got a special weather statement on it. Moving into Folkestone around 9:20, but you're already kind of getting the rain there. Jacksonville probably closer to about 10. I would say 10 to 10:30. Fernandina about 10:11. Ponte Vedra 11:19. St. Augustine closer to about noontime. Extrapolate that west of Jacksonville out towards Union, Bradford County. I would say probably closer to about 9:30. This line is going to be maybe about closer to 9:30, 10, pushing over your specific area there. So somebody keep in mind, this is really working its way in from west to east, and we've been watching this line kind of work its way towards Lake City at this hour too. And in fact, let's go back to this. A special weather statement out on it over Fargo as well. Live Oak, man, shout out to our friends in Live Oak. I went there the day after Helene hit. Remember the clock tower. Beautiful, beautiful clock tower. Just a staple of Live Oak. took some pretty decent damage from that. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Hey, here we go. We're going to look at velocity. Now, I don't see anything tornadic on this, but you know what I'm doing? Getting an estimation of the winds here based on velocity. And that is showing me some spots here about 30 to 40 miles per hour, which is classic special weather statement in place there. That's why that is issued by the National Weather Service at this time. I'm actually going to try to pull up a live look out at Live Oak here. Maybe I can get a good view of what's happening with that storm as it approaches you. Actually got plenty of weather cameras there. That's nice. So, just bouncing around Live Oak here. Let's see if I can get any. Well, here's the exit for Live Oak, just towards the west of it. That's Jasper on the screen right now. Let the Live Oak one load up here. So that's the exit right there, just towards the north and west. And then we can go closer to the town here, where it's not quite picked up just yet. But we'll jump back on here just a few minutes, and we'll take a look at that one. Thank you. I was actually going to jump back over there myself. I did want to jump back over to the Dames Point Bridge, so thank you very much, Nick. Nick is our digital director behind the scenes, kind of running things, because I did want to talk about this. So if you're traveling northbound on I-295 across the Dames Point Bridge, we've been watching this. There is a pretty decent accident. Multiple cars there. Did we get any more information if there was any injuries involved in this or anything, Nick?
I checked.
I mean, I can pull it up too. Actually, oh my goodness, it looks like there's a couple other incidents. Oh, here we go. So I-295 east north at Dames Point Bridge, 2 left lanes blocked. Last updated at 8:32. So this is a half an hour old, but hopefully we don't have any injuries or anything like that. Looks like our camera just froze up a little bit there. Oh, there we go. We got it back. But the key thing is if you jump back to my camera or my screen, or you can go side by side if you want. Maybe that would give people a little view. Because we're watching that, but you see the Dames Point all the way back towards about Fort Caroline there, backed up. Basically red, slowed down. So if you're going to be heading north, not pleasant whatsoever there because of that. Now, I'm not going to say this was weather related because I just don't have the proof for that. But I'm going to tell the Dames Point, when you get some heavy rain on it, it does get slick. And we did have some heavy rainfall that pushed through right around the time when this accident took place. So it doesn't take a full-blown rocket scientist, meteorologist, traffic advisor to kind of put 2 and 2 together and say, yeah, maybe the roads were a little bit slick out there, and we're seeing the result in the impacts of said slippiness, I suppose, if that's a term, if you want to use it. Looking around here as well, we do have a crash on JTB, it looks like. I don't see any camera shots of it. We got a couple different accidents actually around the First Coast. Another one, minor crash around Blanding Boulevard as well. Camera shot I'm seeing of that on US 17 doesn't really show much of anything either. I'll jump around over to that area too. Not trying to be a traffic person here, but I want to keep you guys advised on this because we're tracking all of this rainfall. And then on top of that, you kind of have these traffic backups, and it's just creating some just messy conditions. And in fact, let's bounce over to this camera. I was just going to show you here real quick. I scroll back up, find my camera button. There it is. So this is out towards 295 Blanding. I don't really see anything there. There was a notification that came through, but maybe this camera's looking in the wrong direction. I don't know. I'm trying here, guys. Oh, there we go. There it is. I found it. It looks like that's off to the side of the road, so no big backups from that one there, and that's getting cleared up. So we can bounce back over to the Dames Point Bridge where we do have, what's going on out there right now as far as that traffic accident taking place and big backups back towards the north as well. So, yeah, that's in Jacksonville. Good news, at least it's not pouring in Jacksonville at this moment. but we are watching our next round of precipitation that's going to be coming on in. You can see that now approaching Lake City, Fargo, Columbia County, towards the west of Jacksonville, and all of that. That one's putting out a lot of lightning. All of that is cruising towards the east at 45 miles per hour. Could be working its way just around lunchtime over towards the Jacksonville area. Just doing a little scroll across that whole lightning. 113 strikes in the last 15 minutes. 65 negative, 47 positive. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people. Positive strikes are a lot bigger, so we're getting some solid, probably thick booms coming out of this line. If we got anybody on any of our chats that want to jump in, and if you're out here, let me know. Frank says, any tornado rotation in the line there? I haven't seen it. I've been watching it closely. Frank, with the velocity, I haven't seen any rotation, but we do have a couple little notches in there that we're keeping a close eye on because within this line, if we do get some notches and maybe a little bit of shear mixed in there, there is a chance for a spin up, which is why the Storm Prediction Center actually says there's a 2% chance of tornadoes today. And 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but in the world of meteorology, it kind of is. It's not hype worthy. I'm not saying, it's going to be a tornado. I'm just saying there is that chance. As Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber says, you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, I am. But I don't see anything at this specific moment right this second here. So something to keep in mind. I'm just trying to scroll around north of Live Oak at some of the cameras here because we're watching that next line of storms kind of working its way on into that area, too, there, just around Live Oak, just north of there. So hopefully I can get a nice shot of the shelf cloud coming over the horizon and conditions kind of going downhill out there on our cameras. This is via a weather stem camera, actually, just towards the west. Kind of see a little bit of a shelf cloud there. It's hard to see on this specific shot, but the big thing is on the flag there. You can see the winds picking up. And once again, that's a special weather statement that was issued by the National Weather Service here. Actually got a nice little thing here from Andrew at the National Weather Service. He said, I am watching an area of convection slowly intensifying around Live Oak. There we go, just west of Live Oak. Special weather statement was issued there for a half-inch hail and gust of 40 miles per hour. Andrew, you're on top of it. Little, if any, surface-based instability to work with, so that's good news. So we're not seeing this go severe, but it is going to get messy real quick. And actually, you can see right in the middle of the camera, we do have a little definition of some clouds, and you see it just racing from left to right on the screen. Some solid scud right in there. That is those clouds. So we're going to hang on this camera for a moment, our weather stem camera out of Live Oak, as we watch conditions pick up there real quick. And once again, well, I'm not going to hang completely on it. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here. So there's Live Oak. There's our special weather statement. That storm approaching there. And then after Live Oak, Columbia County into Lake City. And then after that, places like Stark, McClenny, Baldwin, all of this is working its way into your direction. So that's why we're tracking where it is now and where it is headed. While we're watching this, I'm going to read some of the comments on our Facebook. Elizabeth says, have not left traveling to Georgia on motorcycle trying to hold to get a window after it passes. Elizabeth, look in the foreground there. Just solid wind kicking up there. She's traveling from Daytona north to, you said, on motorcycle to Georgia. Good luck. I think if you go right now, but then you got the next line, maybe midday, you might have a break. But if you're going to Georgia, I don't think you're not going to be dry the whole ride. So just keep that in mind, Elizabeth. I would say download the First Coast News app. I mean, obviously, I'm going to tell you to download it. But also, we have a very good radar on there that you can track these storms. So that way you can kind of plot out. And there's actually a little future radar on it that give you like an hour heads up of where the storms are heading next. So hopefully, if you use that, it might help you out, just kind of planning and timing out there. Frank says, I'm in Live Oak in downtown. Clouds are moving pretty fast. Rapid wind, rain, and now thunder. Well, Frank, this segment of our stream is for you. Thanks for chiming in. I was hoping somebody out of Live Oak, which I'm happy you chimed in, because sometimes I think for some of our friends out in Suwannee County, you're right on the edge of our viewing area for First Coast News. And I like to talk about you because I try not to leave anybody out, but I want to make sure somebody is watching. I grew up in a small town on the edge of the viewing area, so I know what it's like to have the news stations just completely ignore you. So I'm trying my best to talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods as well here. But yeah, that's a weather stem camera out here at Live Oak. This is actually the Suwannee County Emergency Operations Center. So, Frank, if you know where that is, that's where we're watching. And boy, got some solid sheets of rain coming on through there right now. We're going to get a wind report, hopefully in the next few minutes, coming out of that area. Actually, I'm going to try to pull it up because let's see if I can pull up the Live Oak. Yeah, right now, they must not have updated because they're saying their winds are 0 knots at the airport right now, and I can attest so that is a lie. That is more than 0 knots right now. That is a live look, and it is whipping right over the city there. Then just east of that, of course, Lake City. And you know what? We're going to pull back the screen here. Pull back the look. It looks around Mayo, too. You're getting some nasty weather kind of kicking on through there. We're going to grab this line of storms here. There you go, just like that. Kick it off towards the east, gives you a little time. Yeah, Lake City, 9:37, so about 20 minutes. We're going to work its way into your area. White Springs at 9:16, St. Mary's, so eventually in your neck of the woods. In Jacksonville, yeah, I like this time better. The last time I did a little time frame here, it said Jacksonville about closer to 10. I think about 10:30. That sounds more probabilistic here. But yeah, it's a pretty decent line. I mean, this is going to be rolling from west to east. This one's not backing off a bit. And remember, this is not a one and done like we had on Wednesday, where we had a cold front that moved through and it was just a shot of rain, and then it got windy, and then the sun came out. Today, and the reason why we have a weather impact alert in place all day is because it's going to be one round after another. So widespread rainfall. And then even heading into tonight through tomorrow morning as well, we're going to have another round of rainfall kicking on in. So, oh no, my camera didn't load. There we go. There's the live look out at Live Oak. I'm actually going to try to grab a different angle of this Live Oak one real quick as we're watching that kind of roll overhead. Here's another little shot. This is Market, I think. What's this place called? I'll let it pop up on the screen. It's just southeast of downtown. Looks like a golf course. Frank, is our golf course just southeast? Oh, yeah. There we go. Got some solid winds kicking up there. That's why I kind of see the trees waving in the foreground there. So you're getting some pretty decent storms kicking on through. I wish there was one closer to downtown of like the clock tower or something like that. This one's actually on the south side, Suwannee Heritage Park. That's what we're looking at right now. This is just on the south side of Live Oak. Another little view here for you. This is out at the Pineview Elementary School. So shout out to Pineview Elementary there in Live Oak. Yeah, it looks like conditions. This one, it looks like it's just a still frame though. I'm not really enjoying this one because it doesn't really show us a lot. It's a good shot. It tells us it's raining, but not getting some good images out of that. So I'm gonna jump back over to the Heritage Park here, so we can see what's happening on that side of the town here. But you know what? Let me bounce it over. There we go. Yeah, it looks like that. Scud kind of getting into the approaching that area now. Those winds picking up, heavy rainfall. Once again, if you're curious what we're looking at Live Oak as this moves off towards the east. I'm actually going to try to pull up some traffic cameras. So we track this one there, pushing out towards Lake City in the next few minutes, and eventually this whole line is working its way off towards the east. Let's take some of these questions though on our Facebook, YouTube. here as well. Frank says the wind is bad. It is picking up out there. Thank you very much, Frank, for your report. Jumping over to the YouTubes. Thank you for your work and information, Robert, from T-Moon. Hey, thank you very much for commenting. You don't know how much we appreciate your comments, not only from me, but from my bosses, so they know that these videos are actually being watched. So thank you so much for jumping in and chiming in and saying, hey, I find this information useful. So that way I can keep my job and keep doing this. Watching across that lightning, though. There's a lot of lightning out of this one. It is just rolling along. So truly, not a severe weather setup at this moment, but definitely. And you see, they just extended the special weather statement from the National Weather Service. The analogy I used earlier, if you're just jumping in right now, I said the special weather statements in the orange there, that is like that's like the feeder team for a professional sport. So if you're talking about Jacksonville, the special weather statement is the Jacksonville Icemen, and then the Rochester Americans. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, and then the Buffalo Sabres are the extreme severe thunderstorm warning. So there's these levels that go up through it. So special weather statement's kind of on the lower end of it. You still want to take them serious, just like you go to the Iceman game. You're like, okay, this is still hockey. This is still a strong thunderstorm, but it's not the smashing you into the boards type level just yet. Still packing a bit of a punch though. Moving across Suwannee County, now into Columbia, and then eventually northwestern Bakers under this special weather statement, as well as most of the Okefenokee there. And you just progress this out, you can see if you're in Jacksonville, it obviously is headed in our direction. It doesn't take a full-blown meteorologist to let you know that, but I'm here to try my best to keep you informed. Here's the deal, though. I do want to mention this, and as we continue to track these storms push overhead, loads of lightning coming out of that one. It's going to move through Jacksonville about lunchtime, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. I see here the weather impact alert in place all day, though, because it breaks apart early afternoon. And then the rain's going to pick back up again as we go ahead through the afternoon into the evening. And it's one round after another, and it's going to line up almost on top of each other. The worry with that is what we call training. And I've seen sufficient training cause serious flooding before, and there is that flood threat. So, of course, the thunderstorms, the lightning, the damaging winds, maybe some rotation, tornadoes, or anything like that. These are all things that we want to keep a very close eye on. Sorry, I'm also reading at the same time I'm talking here. I think the heavy rainfall along the I-10 corridor and just right around it, north and south, all the way out towards Jacksonville is going to be one of the big issues we're going to talk about, because there's a flood watch in place due to the training effect. That means across the entire First Coast, we're going to be looking at, I think I have a graphic here, where the flood watch is issued by the National Weather Service. They're saying, hey, these spots, due to the prolonged rainfall through Monday morning, could be already saturated. Water levels will rise in rivers, as well as your traditional ponding and poor drainage spots. So this all goes back to why we have a weather impact alert in place. We put this out a few days ago. Not the hype, but just let you know that today's going to be just a hot mess. I hear Nick laughing. If you saw me at Publix right now and you said, how's the weather going to be today? That's the way I would describe it. Today's going to be a hot mess. Because it's not, we're going to get some breaks. And I see, we had somebody driving from Daytona trying to get up to Georgia on I-95. And you're going to have to find the holes, because today is your stereotypical cliche stay inside and read a good book type of day. But on top of that, we are going to have these rounds of storms that some of them could be packing a bit of a punch here with that, maybe even a risk of severe weather. Speaking of severe weather, Frank says the wind is bad. Yes. Approximate time for west side of Jacksonville. Deb Sessmans. Deb, let me know if I said your name right. I try my best to get some of these names right. Approximately for west side of Jacks, I would say 10:30-ish but it could be about 10:15 and 10:45. Just gotta watch and how this kind of rolls through. But lunchtime, brunch time, west side, and all of Jax for that matter, is going to be rolling through around that time. So moving pretty fast, and still could be carrying a pretty decent punch by the time it gets closer to Jacksonville, especially since over downtown, I think we're getting a little bit of sun out here. In fact, let's take a look at downtown. I'm going to try to pull up the camera here. We've been watching what's going on out towards Lake City. In fact, the storm's starting to near there. I'm going to pull up our cameras in Lake City a bit more so here in just a moment. But I do want to look in, because I don't have a window in here, so I want to see what it looks like over downtown Jacksonville right now. I'll pull that up and look at the city. So it's funny, I have to pull up a camera so I can see what it looks like outside. Because the First Coast News is in the bottom left of the screen here. And yeah, we kind of lifted clouds, got some scud out there. Not the worst of the conditions. Ooh, side by side. I like this because this camera is on top of the bank, and now we're looking at the bank. This is like we're looking at ourselves in the mirror here, but it gives a good view. It's a nice little 360 view of around downtown Jacksonville at this time. Crews are going to be out there. Hopefully they don't have to clean out the bank today because it's going to be muddy. Remember the Monster Jam was out there last night. Then they just got all the rain on top of it. Ugh, that's going to be a hot mess. Hopefully they clean it out by the time football season comes around. That's all I'm worried about. And then you can see, Jacksonville's kind of clear as far as the rain, but that heavy, severe line, I shouldn't say severe, strong. There's technical definitions of severe to strong. Severe is 56 miles per hour or more. This is strong in that it's not quite up to that, but it is still packing a pretty decent punch here. Let's actually pull up our velocities, see if we have any rotation or any little notches that, I just see kind of this strong line moving west to east, and now approaching the Lake City area. In fact, let's see if I can pull up the I-10, I-95 interchange camera, get a good look at what it looks like out there. Oh, okay. Because I think conditions are going to go downhill there real fast, just around I-10, I-95, not I-75, that is. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can get the base of this cloud, nice little view of it coming into the picture here. This is all along I-75, so just south of that. Looks like looking north on this next one I'm pulling up. Right there, and see the winds kind of picking up in the foreground. Yeah, there's those storms kind of approaching that area. So this is on I-75. Winds starting to pick up there as this rolls off into that direction. And then, of course, we're going to be watching what's happening out in Lake City. Oof, looks like it already rained on their camera there in Lake City. This is a live look out towards there. Yeah, that's a hot mess. Not much to see there. My goodness gracious. So we're going to go back to this shot because this was a good shot of conditions starting to go downhill there along I-75. So this is in western Columbia County as we're tracking the storms roll on in there. And, starting to get messy out in that neck of the woods. And, the high winds, definitely problematic. 40, 45 mile per hour winds with this. For some of these high-profile vehicles, you see the RV right there driving by. You got a semi there. When you get these gusts of winds at 40, 45, it definitely can start to cause some pretty dangerous driving conditions on top of the wet roads, but those winds can blow things around just a bit here. And there's a look at the live radar, what I was talking about. So we'll zoom right in. So we're looking just wet south of I-75, I-10 interchange there, right around White Springs, west of Lake City. Live Oak conditions already starting to improve for the time being there for you. But this whole line is not just right there. I mean, we look back towards the north. We got all the way approaching Folkestone. Got some showers, even over towards, looks like Brunswick got some scattered showers. I'm only focusing on this part because that is the worst of it for the time being as far as these stronger straight-lined winds kind of kicking on by there. So, yeah, just something to are watching out for here as it starts to approach the Lake City area. And there we go, already going downhill. That is back. I was just saying, looks like winds are starting to pick up there west of Lake City. And that's a live look. The wind's kind of kicking up there. High-profile vehicles, wet roads, all of those issues taking place with this one as it pushes overhead. So that's out towards I-75, where I was just showing you here. And now I'm going to just go a little bit further south of that. So we're gonna follow this storm. It's racing along here. So we're shooting a little bit further towards the south. Oh, I wish this wasn't so overblown. Looks like it's getting a lot of light there on the top of the screen, because on my preview, I can see that looking towards the north on this specific camera, it actually pretty solid shelf cloud showing up there. I don't know why it's so bright on my screen, but you can kind of see the winds picking up here as well. So this is all racing towards the south, and you already see the trees picking up here too. So once again, there's a special weather statement out for Columbia County. Winds about 40 to 45 miles per hour. Let's go back to some of the questions. Deborah says, thank you. Thanks, Deborah, for chiming in. I always try my best to answer your guys' questions in a reasonable time frame. Heather Smith says, y'all are the only local station that has been going live with updates. You know what? Here's my philosophy. I don't know what the other stations do. It's a Sunday. I have to be here at work on a Sunday. And I could be either updating the website or going live or working on something that maybe is not going to be as useful. I think this is the best use of our time. And so does our digital team as well. Just tracking these storms, answering your questions live. And I hope that you guys find it useful too, and it's not just the ranting of a madman over here geeking out on weather. I do hope that you guys find this stuff useful, and not only on our YouTube and Facebook page, but also FCN Plus. And if you haven't downloaded the app, it's nice if you do. I would really appreciate it, because you can get those push notifications when we do go live and we track these storms as they march their way across the First Coast. And today, it's one of those days where, I'm going to do my best, as long as my voice allows, to keep on answering your questions and continue talking. It's just me here today. In the past, sometimes I have Tim Deegan, Lee Southwick. Ross Muma should be showing up this afternoon. He will be showing up, not should. I hope he does show up. But he will be here kind of picking up when I get off as well. So, but what makes my life easier as far as these live streams are concerned is when you guys ask questions and I can read them off here and we can have a nice little conversation about what's happening here with these storm systems. So, Live Oak, by the way, just got the report there for Frank, if you're still watching out of Live Oak, reported a 36 mile per hour wind when the storm blew on through there just a few minutes ago. Now it's east of Live Oak, approaching Lake City in Columbia County, but a little confirmation on those winds picking up. We're looking at solid 36 mile per hour wind gusts. A bit further north, observations have been about 26 to 35 across Columbia County. So this line putting out some decent amount of lightning. It's not super severe damaging winds. We're not trying to say this is crazy, but it definitely is not going to be pleasant for people driving out here. Actually, I'm going to pull up the camera just north of 5 Points, the exit right there on I-10, 441. Let's see what we got there, because I think you can this camera is looking west towards our said shelf cloud as it is approaching the Lake City area here. It is 9:28. Been talking for a little over an hour. Nick, is it okay if we take like a 5-minute break here? I can refill up my coffee. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to create a new show here. And I am going to, a new hit, that is. And I'm just going to loop back and forth on the radar and the live camera here. So while I'm stepped off here, you guys can watch this live as it kind of pushes on through. So let me grab the camera and stuff. And then while I'm gone, if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. Always trying my best to answer them in a reasonable amount of time. Keep you posted about what's happening with this storm system moving across the first coast. So I'm just building up a show right now while we're talking here. I don't know why my radar froze. Here we go. Let's save, copy that. And that way, also, if this does pop into anything more severe, it'll be on your screen for you here. And you can chat amongst yourselves while we watch this push on through. I'm going to put 10 seconds for each side. We'll jump back and forth here for you for this, and I'll just put it on a nice little loop for you here as well. So here we go. Second, and bam. All right. So I'm going to loop through, and we'll be back in just a few minutes here, and this will just be a nice little loop here for you as we watch this storm approach the Lake City area and eventually towards Jacksonville by about 10:30 this morning. friends, meteorologist Robert Spetta. We're back. We're going to go over this, and also we're going to bring in Jasmine here and actually talk about some of the traffic that's going on around the Jacksonville area. But first, a severe thunderstorm warning. This was just issued a few minutes ago by the National Weather Service. We were watching this live as the storm was rolling in from the northwest just around Lake City. And on the live camera, if you've been watching our stream loop through, the winds picked up there just around 5 points, to the point where I was like, wow, I'm surprised this hasn't gone severe yet. And it does look like it just popped right after that. With that, this is starting to near Sanderson with winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. If you've been watching this, you probably noticed that I popped up this graphic here just a moment ago showing hail or different sizes. 1 inch in diameter hail possible out of this severe storm, which is about quarter size. So 60 mile per hour winds, quarter size hail possible with this. So pretty severe weather, and thus the severe thunderstorm warning issued here as it races off towards the east. We'll take a little quick look at the timing here. With this main issue is those straight line winds. I can't stress that enough. But also the heavy rainfall, blinding rains. In fact, we've been watching some of the cameras along I-95 and watching the cars drive into it, putting on their four-ways, slowing right down. And this is moving towards the east, solid 50, 55 miles per hour. So they're going to be arriving in Jacksonville around 10:23 a.m. The main line here, Middleburg at 10:44, Ponte Vedra at 11:07, and Sanderson in the next few now. Sanderson right now starting to move into your area. This is a look at the hail being reported out of this based on radar, and I shouldn't say reported, estimated on radar. And then we have the strong winds. And I'm going to give a little bit of a closer look here and out towards Sanderson. Somebody was just asking, is there a hook echo around St. George? Don't see it. Velocity does look a little ambitious there. But I think St. George is about to get a solid little just shot of some good winds coming out of this. Look at that, 45, estimated on radar near 50. I think that they could see about 60 mile per hour winds overall. So this line until 10:15 a.m., anywhere in the orange there, under a severe thunderstorm warning extending from Baker, Charlton, Nassau, Union County, and then you can progress it. That doesn't mean Duval's not in this. It means that Duval will be later than what we're seeing right now. So once again, a weather impact alert in place today. We're tracking this severe weather, and I am happy to save my voice and be joined by Jasmine Monroe, who moonlights as our traffic reporter during the week when Katie's not here. So I want to bring you in, Jasmine, because we're going to talk about, some of these messy conditions we have, right? And if you have any other questions about the weather, let's talk it out. Let's bounce back and forth here. So we were just talking about, first of all, the Dames Point Bridge, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to pull up the camera. This right here is I-10, where you're seeing the rain. So I'm gonna pull up the camera there. So what's going on at the Dames Point right now?
Well, right now we're still taking a peek right now at I-10 mile marker 323 westbound. You can still see that rain coming down. So if you know the Jacksonville area, you know that some of those roadways are slick, especially when you're going across the bridges. So you definitely want to give yourself enough time when you're going to your destination today. It's a Sunday, so typically people are headed to church. But this look right here, it's been here for the past 2.5 hours, I should say, going into them trying to clean up. There were about 3 cars, from what I would see, 4 cars, I should say, looking at this photo right here. It started off as a disabled vehicle on the Dames Point Bridge, and then it quickly went into a huge car accident. So we all know the Dames Point Bridge and how slick and how windy when it is, when those cars move, when you're going across the bridge, you definitely want to take it slow. But as you can see, this is a live look over the Dames Point Bridge, where that accident is still standing, and they're still trying to clean that area up. As you can see, it's down to 1 lane, and I'm pretty sure that within the next few minutes, probably given about 30 minutes, that they're going to have that area pretty much cleared up. But you're taking a peek at the roadway, and you can see all of that red right there on your screen for the traffic conditions going across the Dames Point Bridge. So if you have to take the Dames Point Bridge into wherever you're headed to today, to church, to the mall area over in the town center area, you definitely want to use an alternate route because it's down to one lane and you definitely don't want to be on the bridge stuck in that traffic. So for folks at home who don't have to be outside, of course, this is a day to snuggle up, have some coffee, take a look at the weather forecast from safety of your own home. Robert, you were saying that some hail, almost golf ball like in certain areas. That's not the time that you want to pull out your car, and things like this. I think oftentimes we forget, if you don't have to be outside, just don't go outside. These are the days that you get involved in an accident that you find yourself saying, why did I even leave the house today?
Right, because we try not to, when we put out these weather impact alerts, a lot of people say, oh, this is hype. Like, we don't get extra money for putting this out.
Are you sure? I thought you did.
Yeah, that would be great. I would be like, yeah. No, we don't. We put this out, and our key thing, our job, is to inform you what's happening out there today. And we already had that crash in the Dames Point. That coincidentally did take place during heavy rainfall earlier today.
We have two other accidents to tell you about, too, if I can
go ahead.
quickly peek into that. I'm just taking a look at the map. It's going to be a busy morning. It's only 9:56 right now. So this crash is on Orange County on State Route 408. That's the westbound ramp on mile marker 16, State Route 551. So that's the off ramp. That lane is blocked off. So if you are taking that in, there's a road ranger in that area. Just give yourself enough time, move over, slow down. I'm taking a look at the picture. This happened right around 8:46 a.m. this morning, and it's still, they're still working to clean that area up over there. So just take it slow. That's another incident. I want to peek and take a look over to one more incident in Osceola County on US 192, Vine Street and Bronson Highway. I think that's what it is. It's cutting off for me. Highway East and Nova Road. The left turn lane is blocked off. So that happened around, the last update was around 9 o'clock, 9:17. That was the last update for that. So I'm still trying to see. We don't see any pictures on our screen right here, but those are just the two accidents to tell you about on top of the Dames Point Bridge too as well. Seeing other accidents in plenty areas. Whoop, we just got two more that popped up.
There's a crash on 95.
Yes,
near
another one just popped
south
up.
side, near 9B area.
Yes, on I-95 southbound before Myrtle Street. That's the Iron Bridge, if you know that. Both shoulders are blocked off in that area. So all by the bridges, folks. So if you are listening to this and you don't have to be outside, today's a day that you just want to play it safe and stay inside. Maybe you can watch church online or continue to watch our First Coast News Plus. This is those slick road conditions on top of it being windy. Another accident just popped up, crash in Duval County on I-95 northbound before mile marker 336. The right shoulder is blocked off, so a car just slid off the road. I'm taking a look at that picture. I don't know if you can pull that up right there. You can see that car flipped over right there on the screen. There's no... It's saying the severity is minor at this point, but I think they're still checking and reevaluating. But this car is completely flipped over. Folks, again, if you don't have to be outside today, those slick and wet road conditions, Jacksonville has already been deemed one of the most dangerous cities. It's marked 14 on the list for the most dangerous drivers. So add in rain with that too as well. It gives a mix of an incident like this, and this is definitely not how you want to spend your Sunday morning. So again, this accident, what we're looking at right now, is on I-95 northbound before mile marker 336. The right shoulder is blocked off, so no lanes are closed off, but you can see that car flipped over in the grass. We don't know any injuries just yet. It just says minor for their severity.
So anybody coming from St. Augustine, let's say northbound, you don't really have a lot of good options because there's this accident, right? And let's say you get off at 9B and you want to take 295 northbound over the Dames Point.
Yeah.
That's backed up too. So in either case, you're going to be ready for backups here.
We have another crash that just popped up too as well. Yes, folks, this is very...
And this is before... The storm's not here.
Yeah.
The storm's out towards our west.
State Route 202 on Butler Boulevard West at Gate Parkway. That's a minor crash right now. Road Ranger out there assessing that situation. So just taking a look at my map, and this is on my phone, and I carry this around, of course, throughout the newsroom. We have about 5 accidents out on the road right now. So if that isn't enough for you to stay in the house, I think I'm not sure what to say. But again, the majority of the accident is right there on I-95 and on the Dames Point Bridge. That's been closed down to one lane. I shouldn't say closed. It's been down to one lane for the past 2 hours. So taking a look, we're still looking at severe thunderstorm warning, Robert.
Yeah, and I want to jump back to this because I do want to really stress this. We're talking about the traffic accidents, of course, serious stuff. But now we're tracking this severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado, but it is serious to the point where we're looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1 inch in diameter hail. So quarter size. That is not going to be pleasant as it pushes overhead till 10:15 a.m. And I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service extends this further towards the east here. And on the traffic note, we were watching some of these cameras, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to pop up some of these camera shots. Where is that? Just around Sanderson. I want to give you an idea of what it looks like over the Sanderson area. Are you taking off, Jasmine?
What was that?
Are you taking off?
No, I'm
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We're
We're keeping this casual, so we're just talking around here. I saw Jasmine get up. Haja's actually going to be jumping in here, and we're going to just talk about the weather. Thank you very much for the update there, Jasmine. Truly appreciate it. This is a live look, actually. I'm going to pull up out of the Sanderson area here. Play it out, put that up on the screen for you, and it gives you an idea because where you've seen those camera shots on I-95 over the Dames Point, we don't have a lot of heavy rain. Yeah, I've seen people out there with the umbrellas, but right here, this is closer to where we're seeing the heavier stuff, and I've been seeing a lot of people, they have the 4-ways on. They're coming through here because it starts to come down real heavy all of a sudden, and you start to see that significant reduce in visibility. I'm actually going to try to bounce this over. We're going to head out to the McClenny area, in fact, a little bit east of this, give you an idea of some of the heavier of the precipitation. But the point is, these winds are cruising along. This is moving at a fairly fast pace here. See, look at the tree right on the left side of that screen there. I mean, this is a severe thunderstorm. That tree was just swaying back and forth here with those winds continuing to pick up here. So let's take a look, and we're going to check back on the road conditions here with Haja just a moment, because what I want to show you is this severe thunderstorm. We're going to track the hail here and everything for you and time it out minute by minute as this moves across. Plus, can't stress enough, big thank you for everybody on our Facebook and YouTube as well if you're watching on FCN Plus. But on Facebook and YouTube, we can answer your questions. So if you have them, engage us. Ask myself, Haja, Jasmine. We're trying our best to bounce these back and forth around here. Peroska says, amen, amen. And Agnes says, thank you very much. I hope we're helping you out here. Nadine says, what would you qualify as monster hail? Which is not a technical definition of hail, but I would say monster. We're talking about, grapefruit size. We're not seeing that today. We got solid quarter size, which is still severe, being estimated out of this one. The Blue Goose says, good morning from St. Augustine. I haven't chimed in. I know you posted that a little while ago. Shout out to Blue Goose in St. Augustine, where you're going to get the rain here in a bit. And if you know, you know. I don't know what that means. What it looks like for Jacksonville, Duval County, and this system is headed in your direction. That was their username.
I like it. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you know their name, you know their name.
You know the weather in Jacksonville, you know.
Here, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to time this out here for you, minute by minute. This warning goes till 10:15, but I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service extends this further towards the east. And you see Jacksonville 10:18, Oakleaf at 10:33, Orange Park at 10:43, and then Ponte Vedra at 11:06. We got Haja right there. Haja, how are you this morning? You were out at the beach this morning, right?
Yes, I was out at the beach, and luckily right before my live hit, I was actually done by like 7:30. But then it started like raining like really, really bad. I was just like, okay, this is not good. It was really windy. So I'm like curious to know too. Like I know that road conditions are like bad right now, but how's this commute going to look for Monday morning where people are headed back to work?
And you asked that, and that's a good question because this morning I did extend our weather impact alert to tomorrow morning because we're watching this round of rain right now and these storms kicking on through. But this is just round one. And then we're going to have another round. Actually, round one would have been the one you got caught up in this morning.
Yeah.
This is round two. And then we're going to have another round early afternoon. And then we're going to have another round tonight. And then we're going to have another round tomorrow morning. So this is why, we have a weather impact alert for a solid day and a half. So tomorrow morning's commute is going to be as messy as today.
How was your commute?
Overall, like commute.
What were the roads looking like? What was on the roads? Was it
The
wet?
commute was bad coming back to the station though. Like it was really wet, really, really slippery. So I would advise people like drive slow. I know Jasmine mentioned this earlier to drive slow. Like it was like really wet out there. So being that it was even hard for us to even see because it was so windy and like gusty. It was just nasty out there. But definitely if you don't have to be outside right now, like just don't be outside.
And when you were driving back, I think that was around the same time we had the accident on the Dames
exactly,
Point, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
You might like this shot. I just pulled the camera. This is from the top of Everbank looking west. And you see kind of how the tops of the buildings are shrouded in the cloud there. That is just kind of these clouds starting to build its way on in. And we're going to hear maybe live here on air. We might start hearing some thunder in just a moment, albeit this storm is a little bit further just towards our west, but it is racing towards the east at a solid 55 miles per hour. Like we were talking about here, Haja, do you have the information about the traffic accidents out here?
So as far as the traffic accidents, I don't have. Hold on, I'll get that information.
Oh,
now.
yeah. Oh, Jasmine's going to pull it up here for you.
Jasmine's gonna pull it up for me.
I'll let you guys handle that part. I'm going to time this out. We're going to zoom in. I'm going to try to pull up, that westward look because we're looking just around Baldwin. See, look at that click there. This is interesting. This system is moving. So I want you to stress to you guys that, we may not have a full-on like tornado warning here, but this is packing a bit of a punch. I mean, this is moving forward at a fast pace. We got these winds. Look at this, 50 miles per hour just west of the airport. South of Baldwin, that says about 20. I don't think we're getting a good reading off of that. But this is moving at a pretty decent pace. It's got some hail in it. We could be looking at wind strong enough to toss around lawn furniture, down tree limbs. We might even see some power outages with this one, just because it's like this wave of severe weather kind of rolling back. And like I said, this is for Baker, Charlton, Nassau, now Duval, Western Duval County. We haven't seen it extended further east just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. But let's pull back the whole picture because, you got this stretching all the way from Fernandina. Now, you're not under the severe. It's mainly Nassau County over through Duval. It's under the severe, extending down towards Union and Bradford County. In fact, somebody just was chimed in here from Bradford County not that long ago, said they were in Stark. Stark's going to be getting it here in the next about 20 to 30 minutes. So on top of that, we got this storm racing towards us. And then on top of that, we're talking about some rough road conditions. So what do you got over here for me, Haja? What's some of the latest information?
So quick update for you all. So there was a minor crash on Duval County on I-95 southbound before Myrtle Beach Street on Iron Bridge. So this is a minor incident that's happened actually last updated at 9:59. So that's what we know so far. But this, again, was on the Iron Bridge, minor incident that happened just recently. So that's an update for that.
I got the Dames Point pulled up right now, too.
Okay. Let's see. And then, let's see the Dames Point.
Well, the Dames Point, I do know, we've been watching this for the last few hours. It's down the one lane, multiple cars involved. I didn't see any injury reports. Have you seen any?
No, I haven't seen any injury reports yet.
So that's good. But here's the deal. This was a lot of heavy rain when this first started. And then we were talking about what on I-95 south of the 295 turnoff there. What's that bridge called? I heard you say it earlier. The Iron
Bridge.
Iron Bridge, yes.
I'm talking to Jasmine off to the side here. People just see me just looking off in a random section. Just south of the Iron Bridge there, it actually had an accident. And I'm going to try to pull that up as well here. You got any information on that right now?
So for that, that's just a minor crash I'm seeing right now as far as updates. And this was last updated about 10 minutes ago. So just a minor crash.
I would like to see an update on this because
Yeah,
I don't know what the definition of minor is.
exactly.
But that SUV is upside down. So that's definitely a little unpleasant right now.
Yeah.
But this is the one we were talking about right here, Greenland Road.
Yeah. So this one right here is clearly a bad crash. I see a car that's being flipped over. And as well as like I see people out there. Hopefully there was no one in the car that's still out in the car, but this is definitely a bad incident that's happening right now, as we can see right now in our cam.
Sorry. Just
Yeah, go ahead.
jumped ahead here.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Hasha, where did you come from before here?
Virginia.
Virginia. So
Yes.
you get used to the severe
Oh
thunderstorms
yeah,
in
for
that
sure.
area.
Yeah.
You've covered. Have you been out like in the storms?
Yes. A lot of snow, a lot of thunderstorms.
Well, we don't have that.
We don't have
in
that.
this situation.
But yeah, in this situation, this is like mayhem for you all, which
What-
I totally understand.
What would you take, severe thunderstorm or the snow? Which one would you rather take?
I would definitely rather take thunderstorm. Because snow is like you gotta go out there, you gotta put the salt on the road. It gets messy, it gets sticky. People start sliding. It's just, it's really really dangerous. But definitely prefer thunderstorm over snow.
Well, today, no, but we do have hail threat. We
Yeah.
do have the hail. 1 inch in diameter, but I'm not seeing it based on the returns at this moment. This was earlier. It looks like closer to Jacksonville. We're not seeing, but actually right there in western Duval. Looks like, it says out of range. Don't give me out of range. My radar's not showing it, but it does look like some small hail still possible coming out of this. They haven't extended the severe weather warning yet, so we may not have the severe over downtown Jacksonville, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be packing a punch here as it moves off towards the east. I mean, we're still looking at 40, 50 mile per hour winds with this. Actually, I'm going to pull up the downtown camera real quick here.
Let's see.
And we're going to look off towards the west. So let's look at the time lapse here and watch as these storms. That was the one you said you got caught driving in.
Yeah, from Jack's Beach.
And now we're starting to see the next round, and it's starting to pick up closer to Jacksonville, reducing visibility here over the metro area, which means, I'm going to jump over that Dames Point. Do you actually have that? Oh, there we go. There's a live look. Thank you for the two-box, Nick, our digital director behind the scenes here. Because, and if you could pop up the traffic cam for the Dames Point, I don't know if you have access to that on top of, that would be cool because their conditions are going to be going downhill. And then I think that's problematic because you're already cleaning up out there. At this moment. Watching that though.
I know that we're currently not under severe thunderstorm warning in Duval County, but when should people expect that?
Yeah, you know what? And that's a good question here. So let's time this out using our fantastic kind of time frame. So I'm going to prog here. And basically, for everybody at home, progging is simply, as meteorologists, we say this storm is moving this fast. And I'm going to extrapolate its forward movement out from west to east. So we're going to grab this, and it's moving towards the east at about 50 miles per hour. So Jacksonville, it's rolling up on us pretty fast here. This is saying 5 to 10 minutes. Granted, already got some rain, right?
Right.
But the good stuff, good quotations, the bad stuff is going to be in here probably about 5 to 10, 15 minutes here. Soon. Sooner than later. What events do we got going on this weekend, too? We were covering some of them.
So this weekend is the St. Augustine. There's going to be one event that's happening, but I'm not sure if it's going to be canceled because due to the weather.
Well, that's the Celtic Fest.
Yeah.
And I doubt they would cancel it.
Yeah.
Everybody's just going to go inside and drink.
Inside, yeah. Exactly.
They do have a...
Just like take it inside.
The parade was yesterday.
Yeah.
So good news with that. I think that they should be okay. What else did we have? Oh, the Concours d'Elegance out in Amelia Island. Do you know what that means, by the way, in French?
Don't know what that means.
I'm saying it like I'm smart and I know. I only found this out like 2 days ago. It means the competition of elegance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's so fancy.
They actually, I think they moved everything to Saturday.
Yeah, so that's all over with. Yesterday was like the final day of the events. Yes.
So we're not worried about $1 million cars being out there. Or you were out
I
there.
was out there yesterday.
You were out there yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more about that while I look at some of this stuff.
It was so much fun, honestly. The weather was great, even though it was like a bit cloudy and kind of dark, but the weather was great. I feel like I felt a little bit of raindrops just throughout the morning, but other than that, it was fine. The weather was fine. It was a bit chilly though.
What's your favorite car out there?
My favorite car, see, I'm kind of biased because I really have a thing for Porsches. Like, I really like Porsches, so I'm just like either that or the vintage Rolls Royces are really nice. The ones specifically in the 1930s, the classics, those were really nice to see. But it was a whole bunch of people out there. It was hundreds of people out there. I interviewed one guy who he has a 1986 Subaru, and that was like really awesome because he like custom made his car. He had like a motorcycle in the back of his car, which was really cool. But he had that car for about a year now, but he bought it, but now it's worth like double the price, which I thought that was interesting. But I feel like I found a new love for cars after that event.
Well, thankfully,
Like, yeah.
they had it yesterday.
Exactly.
And hopefully everybody who does love their cars may be staying home today. As you saw there just an image ago, a car upside down on I-295. This is looking across the Fuller Warren Bridge. We got our storm headed towards us in this, so it's right there. Was severe up until a minute ago. And it does look like that severe weather warning has been dropped by the National Weather Service. They're not going to continue it. But with all of that said, it is still strong. Not pleasant to be out there. We have multiple accidents in the Dames Point, the I-295, like you just said. So I'm going to answer a couple of these questions here real quick. Sandy says in Putnam County, there you go, there's the Dames Point Bridge. So it's going to start to pick up there, which is unfortunate because they're trying to clean things up there and the storm's moving in. What about Putnam County? Putnam County, this round is coming. First off, everybody's going to get the rain today. Okay, and tonight and tomorrow. We have a weather impact alert all day today and tomorrow. So we're coming in waves, and we can even pull back the broader picture here. And look at this. This is current wave. Then we got another one. Look at that. All that lightning around Tallahassee. And then look west of that, south of Pensacola. And then look west of that around Jackson. It's these just whole instability and energy that's coming on through. So to answer your question about Putnam County, yes, you will be hit by a storm eventually. But this in particular one, let's pull back the picture here. I'm going to make sure I get Palatka. I assume if you're in Putnam County, you're in Palatka. No offense to the rest of Putnam County, but there's like, not a lot of you guys out here. We love you, though. Palatka is one of my favorite towns. And there's one reason why I love it out there. There's not a lot happening. 11:30 out there towards Palatka. Palm Coast at about 12 o'clock. You're going to start to work into your area. Ponte Vedra around 10:50. 6 a.m. here. So it is moving off into your direction. Got a question here. I'm in Hilliard Folkston area. Poured here in lightning. This is from Sabrina72 on YouTube. I hate lightning. Thank you for your updates. Sabrina, I feel you. I'm not a fan of lightning either. I shouldn't say that. I respect it.
Why is that?
Why? Because it's dangerous, but at the same time, it's cool. What about you?
For
your
me,
first impression, you hear a big clap of thunder. What do you do?
I'm like, okay, the first thing that goes in my head is like, stay away from a window. That's like the first thing that comes in my head. Stay away from a window and just duck and hide.
Duck and hide.
My inner child comes out. It's like, oh, duck and hide, guys. But I know you mentioned to me this morning, how about Brunswick, Georgia, that area? How is it doing currently
They've
right
been
now?
getting some pretty decent rainfall out
Okay.
there. Brunswick, Brunswick's problem, issue, I should say, is that they're going to see continued rainfall. So the problem is waves are coming on through, so I don't think they're going to see the severe thunderstorms, but I do think that they're going to see just this rain on top of rain on top of rain, which is going to saturate the grounds. I mean, these are the totals, and look at Brunswick.
Wow. Yeah.
A 3 to 4, maybe.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and on top, they've already got about an inch, and now
Feel like they're getting the worst of it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
St. Simon's Island, that's kind of the corridor where we're going to see this training effect.
Yeah.
So, of course, we're watching the storm right now, but that's a very good question, Haja, because they're going to be this training and more storms kicking on through here over the course of the next day.
Got you. So what if the people are saying, hey, we're just going to wait till it clears out, and hopefully by tomorrow, by the time I head back into work, things will look better? Are they going to look better up there in Waycross and Brunswick?
Yeah, eventually. Eventually. Tomorrow morning's commute's going to be messy.
Okay.
I anticipate it's about 8, 9 o'clock. And then it's still going to be windy, though.
Yeah.
So all day it's going to be windy. So the storms will be gone, but the wind will still be there. But I do think tomorrow morning's commute is going to be a bit of a mess, much like what we're seeing right now. I hope there's no accidents. Hope everybody listens, slows down. But I think it is going to be a bit of a mess. Do want to note this orange right here. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning. That is a special weather statement that was issued by the National Weather Service on the cell. So they've been tracking this, basically racing from the west towards the east, saying that it's no longer severe because it has to be 56 mile per hour winds to be severe. But we do have 50 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail coming out of this. Penny-sized.
Yeah.
Do you know that the penny's supposed to be stopped being made here soon?
I heard that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, boo, that's...
I'm down for it. I don't know when the last time I used a penny.
I actually hate change, though. Like, this is very bad for me. I don't know. But my change, I am guilty. Don't judge. I throw it away.
Don't. That's illegal. Don't say that.
You're like, wait, don't say
You're not supposed to do that. But I get it. I don't throw it away. It just gets
not like
lost.
in the trash, but like I get rid of it.
It
like,
goes
I'm
in my cup holder in the car, and then it's there for like 5 years.
Because I'm like, it weighs down your wallet. It's like in the world of like iPhones now, like you have everything on your Apple Pay. There's like no point of carrying around.
This is true.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a look at the Fuller Warren Bridge, where we do have conditions. Look at the left side of the screen. So we're looking towards Riverside.
Yeah.
And you can see the winds picking on up here. And, special weather statement, so it's not severe, but I'm going to watch the wind here just rolling in the downtown in the next few moments as this kind of continues to pick up. That's the Fuller Warren. Let's see if I can look a little bit further west, some of these spots.
And quick question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think we're going to expect any type of bridge closures moving forward today or no?
No.
Okay.
I take that back. I don't expect it weather related. Now, if we have another accident like on the Dames Point where it blocks off the roads, that's different.
Okay.
But because you need kind of steady, sustained winds. But with that said, that's not to say that when you go over some of these bridges, you don't need to slow the heck down. Especially the Matthews Dames, the Hart Bridge, all these higher ones. It's going to be a bit of a mess here.
Yeah.
I'm going to look over downtown Jacksonville. So this is looking off towards the west. Here we go. So conditions kind of going downhill here too. So let me guys know if you have any questions or anything like that in the comment section. Is that Dames Point? Looks like it's back open.
Yeah, it's open now.
Yay!
Awesome.
All those cars moving along there, so that's good.
Yeah.
Dames Point's back open. It still looks like I-295. It still has that wreck on there south of the steel bridge, the iron bridge. Excuse me, steel. Get my metals right, Robert.
It's okay.
But point is, and I'm glad they cleaned it up because they're just starting to get really nasty weather right there.
Can see the roads kind of look really wet.
I think here at the First Coast News Station, we can start to hear the rain coming down outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch this up. We're going to look at the Dames Point Bridge. This must be the traffic. There we go. So this is looking out there from Fort Caroline up the river. And yeah, you see all just those dark clouds out in there in the foreground. And I mean, that's our cell starting to move over. And actually, we can zoom right in. So there's that line just moving through West Jacksonville right now, out towards the Dames Point Bridge and towards downtown. Plenty of lightning coming out of this too. And like I said, there is a special weather statement in place. Haja, if you want to continue to chat with me here, you are more than welcome, by the way. Trying to keep this very casual because we're talking for hours.
I wish I could stay longer. I have an interview at 5 minutes.
And that's why I wanted to say something.
Yeah, of course.
Because Haja is gracious, and same with Jasmine Monroe. It's just popped up in here a second ago. Both of you, this is not your job. You're just in here to help me out.
No,
so
I'm glad I
could
be on. It was great. I learned a lot. So thank you, Robert.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. I know you got a job to do. She's got interviews. She's got stories to work up, and your stuff's probably going to air tonight at 6 o'clock, right?
Yep, correct.
So make sure you guys check that out.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah,
if you feel like coming back in, you're more than welcome.
Yes, I sure will. Please.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Haja, so much for coming by.
Of course.
All right, so let's track these storms and nail down as they move across the Jacksonville area here, moving west to east. Do have some comments on here. People did like you, so said Haja's the best here. She says, thank you, guys. How long is it going to be bad in Callahan? You know what, Shannon? Unfortunate for Callahan. It's going to be bad longer because you are kind of in that corridor of continued rainfall for that specific area. So I just want you to, you're not going to see the severe weather likely there, at least for the time being, but it is going to be damp and it's going to be wet. It's just going to kind of continue out in that area there. So the answer is Shannon's question about how long it's going to be in Callahan. That's something I do want to watch out for. I see you asked that twice. I do apologize. I didn't get to it right away. Heading over towards YouTube, Mike Mitchell says, I love the Iceman analogies. Sorry. I have a jar at home, throw change in when there is a full take in a bank and deposit in it. I get that. We were talking about the penny and everything like that. So, sorry, it took me a moment to realize what you were talking about there. I forgot that we were talking about the penny just a few minutes ago. So, here we go. So, we got plenty of lightning just south of Jacksonville, and I do want to put this up. Okay, so let's take a look at strikes around the metro area, about 76 in the last 15 minutes. So you're probably hearing these kind of long rumbles of thunder out there. There's a lot of cloud cover, so it's going to echo. But what I do want to, excuse me, goodness gracious. What I do want to look at is kind of the cross view of our radar. So we're going to get a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional look. And yeah, this is going up to solid 20,000 feet. So if you want lightning, you need about 20,000 feet of clouds. Because you just need that convection to interact with the ice crystals, separate those positive and negative atoms, yada, 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 meteorology. So, these cloud tops are up there, but also I think we're getting some pretty decent upward vertical motion. It looks like just on the east side, I had another strike pop up while we were looking at this as it moves over downtown. Of course, right outside the First Coast News studio, we do have that big old radio tower out there, or communications, or whatever that thing's called. That I'm sure we might get a couple lightning strikes on that. It seems like every time we get a storm rolling over towards Jacksonville, we do. In fact, I'll try to pull up the downtown camera, and we can see this. That is Fort Caroline. I'm going to go over to downtown here. Let's go right here. Oh, my. Yeah. Okay. I'm saying, oh my, it's not up on the screen yet, but it's coming, friends. You can see this live looking out from Everbank. Woo, look at that. And our 2-box. I'm going to take a second to just appreciate this and take a cup of coffee. Oh. Woo. So, yeah, that's over downtown Jacksonville right now. We got this storm pushing through. Let's take a look actually at the radar. I'm going to zoom right in on here. There's rumbles of thunder right now, so you might see it on your screen there over at looking at the bank. You know what, Nick? I see Nick just out here a second ago. We're going to wait for the storm to kind of kick past Duval County, and we'll take another break. But I do want to stay on here with everybody for the time being, albeit if it's just, us watching this together as it rolls off towards the east. But some pretty decent lightning coming out of this. I just had some reports actually from the National Weather Service. Jacksonville's airport had a 38-mile-per-hour wind just now. So this, you see right there, you see that's the cone of silence. You have the radar going around. There's that circle. That is a cone of silence. But right under that is, of course, the National Weather Service in the Jacksonville International Airport. Just reported 38-mile-per-hour winds, heavy rainfall, as well as that pushes on through. So a lot of lightning still downtown coming out of this. That's why there is, of course, this special weather statement that is in place as we track this severe weather moving off towards the east here. Let me see if there's any hail. Yeah, this line, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe on the north side, just around the Trout River there, you could see a little bit of hail here. Small, penny size maybe, but there is that potential for some hail here because this thing's it's pulling it back, and the special weather statement would coincide with that. There's a look at the radar, kind of showing you the leading edge of this. Look just around Orange Park. In fact, I'm going to pull up the Bucknam Bridge. I think that's going to be a good shot. Looking east to west over the Bucknam, because downtown getting nasty right now though. Let me see here. I can pull it up. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is a good shot. East to west over the Bucknam. Popping up on the screen. Left is towards Everbank. But yeah, looking across the Bucknam 2-mile long bridge, and you can see you can't even see the other side out towards Naval Air Station, Jacksonville. That's leading edge of this storm clouds kind of pushing off over that area. We go back to our radar real quick here. See what I'm talking about. So there's the leading edge of this. That area in orange is a special weather statement. There's the Bucknam Bridge. Just now moving. I wonder if that got picked up on the mic. Oh, goodness gracious. Just had a nice shot of thunder right over downtown Jacksonville here. So that's the cameras looking east to west out towards those storm clouds moving across the Bucknam Bridge. I see a lot of cars on it, which is, it's going to get messy real quick. The Bucknam is on a good weather day. It's a rough drive. On a bad weather day, not going to be pleasant whatsoever here, pushing over there. I'm going to take some of your guys' questions. And if you got any reports, please let me know in our Facebook or YouTube page. Try to share this with you. And if you got photos, go to our First Coast News Weather Watchers page or use the Near Me function on the First Coast News app. Both of those are great ways to just share that information with us. And we can see, actually, on the Bucknam Bridge shot, you can see the roll cloud right there. See on the top of the screen how it's a little bit, you kind of see that texture right in there. That's a roll cloud, and the gusty winds on the leading edge of it. On the left of it, side of the screen, you got I-295 and Church Street there as well. Ooh, see that right in the middle? Did you catch that, Nick? Yeah, nice little lightning strike in the middle of the shot there. So it's that's some visual confirmation of what I'm hearing outside right now. We're gonna try to. Can you give me the Everbank Stadium? The camera for that, because I think it is rumbling pretty good out here right now. I'm going to pull up the radar while you give me that Everbank Stadium shot, because look at that. That is, we are putting out all sorts of lightning here over downtown Jacksonville. Over the last 15 minutes, we've gotten about 100 lightning strikes there. I wonder if that's hail too. Ooh, goodness, or just some big fat raindrops. And there was a flash of lightning right on the screen, pushing through. So goodness. Mike Mitchell says, Robert, can you describe how a storm in Florida has hail and temps aren't cold? Yes, good point, Mike. Basically, our freezing level is about 15,000 feet right now above our heads. So hail has to go above that freezing level, and it comes below it, melts, it goes above and below. So when we look at the cross-section of the storm, and I'm going to take a two-dimensional if you come back to my screen, we actually have a pretty decent burst of convection here, if you don't mind coming back, Nick, There we go. Thank you. Up to 20,000 feet right over downtown Jacksonville. So this is getting well above that freezing point. So that is why we probably have that hail in there. It may be warm at the surface, but once you go, there's snow on top of the mountain. There's colder air, and on top of this thundercloud, it's actually ice crystals, and it's cold. So when that water droplet gets above, it freezes, comes down below, it melts, gets back above, it freezes, and that happens over and over. The stronger the updraft, the longer the hail, the larger the hail, because it has more time to continue to build up on and put those layers on. So very good question. Thank you very much for that, Mike. I appreciate that. Susie says, hi, Robert. Hi, Susie. I hope you're having a fantastic and dry day out here. Wendy Frazier says, really got dark here in Middleburg. That was 4 minutes ago. And then hello from St. Petersburg, Florida, I assume. Michelle says it's sunny there. Not sunny here in Jacksonville right now. Tell you that, it is coming down outside. I can hear it. I can hear the thunder right now. Down. Ooh, look at that. That's the Bucknam Bridge right now. Top end of the screen is that the scud and the leading edge of that heavy rainfall coming across here at the moment. Goodness, that is a nasty storm. And that's a look at downtown Jacksonville. Flashes of lightning, winds kicking on through. Radar's just showing this whole line pushing through. But whew, look at that camera kind of wobbling in the wind there, and we got all sorts of lightning. I'm gonna try to pull up the. And you know what? Here's the deal with that lightning. I'm not trying to hype this and be like, oh wow, but I want you to be aware that this is a lot of lightning coming out of this towards downtown right now. So if you're in Arlington, for example, and you want to head outside or anything like that, it may not look that bad at the moment, albeit the rain's starting to pick up, but it is going to go downhill really, really quickly here in the next few minutes, just because of this storm racing off there towards the east. This is a live look towards downtown, and I can't see it. Okay. I mean, you can see, but there's not much to look at. We're going to bounce over to Fort Caroline. Let's look. Maybe. Oh, my. Okay. Can't see nothing there. I'm trying to look around. A lot of our cameras, like for example, at the Dames Point Bridge, this is where we were watching that wreck earlier. This is a live look at the Dames Point right now. I'm trying to pop it up on your screen here, where it's, that's what it looks like. People got their headlights on, slowed right down on the bridge going across there. It is a messy. But then this is just towards the east of the Dames Point Bridge, and this just shows the stark difference between inside the storm and just outside of it. So if you're in Arlington, you're probably thinking, where is this? Because this is at Fort Caroline, where it doesn't look all that bad. Oh, look at the lightning right there in the middle of the screen, though. Everywhere I'm going right now, I'm seeing flashes of lightning on the screen, which, as a meteorologist, I love. Super cool to look at, but dangerous outside. I mean, look at that. Woo! That is putting it out. We're seeing a big burst of convection actually right over downtown right here. It must have tapped into the warm waters of the St. Johns River. And this is, let's see, where I made that box, 110 lightning strikes in just the last few minutes here. Take a look at the cross section of this. We're going to go right over downtown. So yeah, see, look at that, just burst almost up to 30,000 feet. I mean, that's, still a special weather statement on it. It's not severe, but it's packing a punch here, guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see winds at least up to 50 miles per hour with this as it moves off there towards the Arlington area. So let's actually go back right here. Oh, let's get that off the screen. That's old. Sounds like the rain already kind of tapering off with this specific line in the downtown, by the way. We're going to do here, let's go road by road. So here's up towards Beach Boulevard. Let's look at Atlantic Monument area right in there. Just passing right near Craig, starting to see some of those showers pick up there as well. Deerwood, it's going to be there in the next few moments, kind of coming over top of you. Out towards Jack's Beach, you're kind of getting the rain at the moment. You can see on the left side of the screen, there's Jack's Beach, but that is not the true kind of rough part of this storm. That is still a few miles out here. And your conditions go downhill. So if you're thinking, okay, it doesn't look that bad, I don't know what he's talking about. It's not there yet. Ask people in East Arlington or around the Arlington area towards downtown what we're talking about, because this is about 20, 30,000 feet. Got a lot of lightning coming out of it right now. Not severe, but it is pretty deep. Actually, let's pull up our velocity just around. I'm going to zoom right in. Let's see what we got for estimated winds. Just around US 1. See that lighter color right there. Now, good news, I don't see any rotation on velocity. So we don't have anything that's looking tornadic. But yeah, right there, 30, 40 mile per hour winds. So there's a good gust front. But I think the big issue we have with this right now is the amount of lightning coming out of this storm cell. So let's go back towards Fort Caroline because this storm's running up the river here. And yeah, you can see there's the leading edge of this is pushing up the river. This is over towards Harbor Cove area there off of Fort Caroline Road. Yeah, here we go. Look at the gust front. Right, look at the water right in the foreground. You're seeing those sheets kind of push on, and that's that gust front, the outflow with this storm. As we watch this push up there, I'm going to answer some of your questions. Jacksonville Beach, I always stay there when I come every December to watch a Jags game, Michelle says. Well, thank you very much. Today is not a good beach day, so good news you're not there today. Somebody says they're out here in Yulee. Actually, I missed a couple of comments here. Pouring in Yulee. There was a lot in just the last few minutes, in fact. Sorry, I'm not getting to all these. What time will hail start in Jackson, St. Augustine? So I don't think we're going to get hail in St. Augustine based on this cell right now. It's starting to kind of, by the time it gets out to your area, I'm not too terribly worried about it. But it does look like St. Augustine probably in 45 minutes, you're going to start to see conditions like what you're seeing there at Jack's Beach move into your area. Good thing is football season is over. It will be a mess at the bank today, Michelle says, because, yeah, the Monster Jam was yesterday. And if you don't know Monster Jam, they bring in truckloads of dirt, obviously, so monster trucks can go zoom. There's my rendition of it. Andrew says, killing it. Thanks, Andrew, for jumping in here. Amanda says, what part of Yulee you located? I think they're talking to somebody else. Jacksonville Beach, I always stay there. Okay, I already read that one. And starting to storm in Mayport, too. That doesn't surprise me because that's a live look out here at Fort Caroline. So about a mile right up the road from Mayport. In fact, I'm going to pull up our Mayport camera. This is out at the Coast Guard station. So this is this currently Fort Caroline conditions going downhill there, and then we go over towards Mayport. That's the Coast Guard station. Oh, ooh, hey, buddy on the boat right there. You better get going. They're driving into the storm. Bad move. I am curious to see where that person's headed. Look, this is right near the mouth of. So this is the Coast Guard station. They're driving away from the boat ramp. If my directions are right here, hopefully they're headed over towards the boat ramp off of Heckscher Drive because that's the only next one that they can kind of get off there. Because oh my goodness, that's not where you want to be. Because if you look a little bit just upriver where that boat was headed towards Fort Caroline, this is what it looks like out there right now. So don't be a boater on the ocean right now. How about that? There's my advice for today. You're welcome, guys. Goodness, I want to know where that gentleman was headed. Kelsey, thanks for pointing out starting to storm there in Mayport, though. Whoo! Look at Fort Caroline. That's a good shot right there. Mike Mitchell says, now pouring in the Mandarin area. Julington Creek had a gust of 19 miles per hour. I rounded up to 20. Susie says, we're discussing tentative power outage plans at my house. Hope we won't need any. I hope so, too, Susie, because, I live in kind of a wooded area, and it feels like a storm like today. The power is going to go out at my house. It always does. I guess it just depends on where you are and how things are set up around your area. But, I mean, look at this. Nasty, nasty conditions at Fort Caroline. Let's pull up the radar, see what I'm talking about here as it pushes over ahead. So there's our line. We got a solid bow echo forming up. A bow echo is kind of a bow. So you can see it here, what we're talking about. It looks like a bow and arrow. And the middle of that, so the middle of that bow is where you could be looking at some gustier conditions. So approaching TPC Sawgrass, which I think if we got friends out there at TPC setting up for the players, they have a lot of tents and things like that. I would be curious if they get any problems with this storm system as it pushes overhead. Running up JTB, got those conditions there. I mean, this is going to be running right up the river, Mayport, Jack's Beach, all those spots. Can you toss me up Jack's Beach's camera, in fact, or maybe give me a dual box or something like that there, Nick? Might see what it looks like out there right now while I try to... Oh, here we go. Heckscher Drive, I-295 East. And there's Jack's. So starting to come down at Jack's Beach. Not quite what we were looking out there towards the west at like Fort Caroline, but it's going to go downhill really fast in the next few minutes. I'm talking fast, by the way, not to hype. I get excited. I like this stuff. But also, I want to make sure I kind of address everybody here with this storm, because this is, you know, we're talking about this together. I got to slow down, remind myself. Let's look out towards actually Green Cove, Nocatee, Mandarin. It looks like conditions just starting to pick up there for you. And then out towards St. Augustine. I just had a question about St. Augustine. About this storm. So I do want to let you know that right now we're focusing in on Jacksonville, but look at St. Augustine, 11:17, so about a half an hour. Butler Beach, 11:30. Northeast Regional Airport, that is St. Augustine's Airport, which I think they're going to change the name back because not many people understand that St. Augustine. 11:10 a.m. I don't know if they are, but there's been discussion about it. But this whole line, moving off there towards the east, special weather statement in place at this time with that one. So, yeah, let's go back closer to Jacksonville. Nice solid bow echo. A lot of lightning coming in out of this. I wonder if I can pull up a image from JTB. I'm going to try to look across the intracoastal at JTB maybe, or just up the road there, because it looks like the leading edge of this starting to kind of work its way into that area. Wonder, JTB and Hodges. I got a shot right there. Let me pull that up. All right. So, yeah, this is JTB and Hodges, where it looks like the leading edge of this is just starting to work its way into there. Yeah, you can see the rain kind of starting to pick up. And this is what we're talking about. You know, I don't want people to be caught out in this, some traffic accidents. I mean, we did have that one, looks like one just around, actually another traffic accident. Disabled vehicle on I-295 north, south side. I'm going to try to pull up this camera, in fact, because this is a bad spot where the rain is coming down very heavy right now. I-295 north, just off of south side. There's a disabled vehicle there. Oh, here it is. Where it, like, zero visibility, got a car stuck on the side of the road. That is not where you want to be in these conditions there. That's I-295 and South Side Boulevard. So please, friends, if you're watching this, you're probably not heading outside. And if you're watching this and you're driving, please stop. But just if you're going to be heading out and you know these storms are coming, give yourself some extra time. Especially if you're coming up on a situation like this where you do have disabled vehicles, because we have seen a few wrecks already this morning. But also, if you're planning on going outside, I mean, this is kicking out loads of lightning right now out there towards the Arlington area. Now looks like it's just starting to near the intracoastal Mayport. In fact, let's pull up that camera. We were just showing you where that boat raced on by, just by the Coast Guard station. Remember, we were watching that boat? I hope they got to their boat dock wherever they were going, because that storm is racing on through. Hey, can somebody text Greg? He's texting me right now. He's saying, do I need any help? With assistance covering these storms? I mean, we've been live here for a while. So, yeah. Or if you're watching Greg on, he's one of our executive producers. Shout out to Greg. Yeah, we're just continuing the watches. So just want to say, hey, I mean, we're making it. My voice is starting to get a little rough here, but, you know, we're getting through. But I think we're staying informed, and that's the key thing, and hopefully we're helping some people out here. Just had another... Okay. All right. All right. I think somebody else just gave me a little tip. I keep on banging my table. So I do apologize if every time I bang my table, people are hearing it. So hopefully that fixed it. I put it on a mouse pad right there. All right. So this is a live look out at the Duval fire rescue. So we're seeing out here where the storms are picking up there as well. This is just right out near the right across the river from the boat ramp at Mayport, or right across the river from the Coast Guard station right there. Let me see if I can pull this up. It looks like they might have moved the camera from my preview. Let's see if this changes it. Anyways, back to the radar. Oh, I see what was going on. Oh, also the bang is probably me picking up and putting down my coffee here. All right, there we go. That's from the Coast Guard station. Yeah, picking up there. Hopefully no one's out there on the river. I tell you, this is moving off. I'm going to answer some of your questions here real quick. Bobby says, Monument McCormick, the sky is falling. I mean, solid sky falling right there. It's raining heavy. But, I mean, it might sound it because we did have some hail possibly. If you're getting hail reports, let me know. But we did have hail possible in this up to penny size with this moving on through. Jasmine's coming in right now. Hopefully she's wondering if maybe she might have something. I love Florida weather. Mama Carol says it's so active. Yep. Keeps us busy. No holes today, Susie says. I'm at Hannah Park last night. Occasional holes in the clouds. We ain't seeing that today. I thought you were talking about golf because you ain't playing any golf today either. Tell you, none of that. Looks like nighttime, Heather says, in Regency after that rain picked up there. I get it. These clouds are 20,000 feet thick. So that's thick. Actually, let's see the latest here. Because the higher the cloud tops, the more lightning, the more convection we have. We're going to look at our two-dimensional look here. So we're pulling across the radar. Let's go side frame. Whoa! So as a meteorologist, I'm looking at this and I'm going, whew, okay, hold the phone. See that little shot, the higher cloud top right there in the middle? See how that jumps up to about 25, nearly 30,000 feet? That is why we have hail possible within this, because these cloud tops, so this burst right there. Let's see if I can actually draw on this. It won't let me go two-dimensional and the arrow. But you see where I put that arrow, and you see where the kind of have that darker red shooting right up there? That is that convection flaring up. And then look on the ground, all the lightning right around it too. So we got a lot of lightning kicking off in this because this is getting a nice little burst of convection before it gets out there towards the coast. And as I was saying that, that's funny. As I was saying, this is getting a nice burst of convection and intensifying. The National Weather Service says, yep, we have a severe thunderstorm warning now until 11:15 a.m. for Duval and St. Johns County. Looks like that's stretching all the way out towards Volano Beach from Ponte Vedra, out there towards Durban. That includes Nocatee here, Mandarin, Ponte Vedra, south end of Jacksonville Beach. We're getting a nice shot of convection flaring up in the inner core of this storm system. Let's pull over the hail, see if we got any hail kind of being estimated on radar. And yeah, I see it right there. That's that darker area. Whoa! Is that Jack's Beach?
Barely.
Wow, Jasmine's in here right now. Jasmine, what do you got for me here? You got some new information?
Yeah, we just have some accidents to tell you about. So our manager's calling in and making sure everything's good. I think you probably need a water break. Probably you've been talking for a mile a minute.
And I've been talking about it, and I do want a nice water break, but I want to get through this line
okay.
Right now. But thank you. But you talk.
Yeah, no. So one of the accidents we do have to tell you about is a crash, of course, in Duval County. That's still on I-95, the southbound. So it went from one shoulder being blocked off to now two shoulders being blocked off on Myrtle Street, and that's the Iron Bridge. So it was updated around 10:30, and I'm taking a look at the pictures, and you could still tell some of the traffic is being backed up over in that area. But just to describe some of the area, we're taking a look at Jack's Beach. That's right there on the pier. You fish out there, and those are the areas you can see those flags just swaying in the wind because of this severe weather that we're dealing with. Robert, you've been talking about this this throughout the morning. We prepped them yesterday. We told them some of the activities and events had to be rescheduled due to this severe weather. Today, there are also, what other event is happening? The Monster Truck Show was happening yesterday.
Today, I think the big one that could be impacted is the Celtic Festival. Ooh.
Yes.
Did you just mention this one?
This is the Trout River. This is something new. I think this is, I can't see if that is a crash. The sign is blocking that. Hopefully they could shift it. But you do see them making sure everyone is going over into the right-hand lane. So that's down to one lane right there on, I can't tell what, this is I-95,
Yeah, this is 295
on Trout River.
Southbound.
So if you are taking that into your destination,
you probably want to get off at
Tallulah? That Edgewood Avenue right there on 357. No, that's fine. But again, like we're talking prepping yourself for the road. You know, if you have to be outside today for a real reason, a specific reason, an important reason, you just want to give yourself enough time. Schedule that time in just so you're not driving aggressively on those roads. You're going to be avoiding a lot of things. Debris out on the roads. I know taking I-95 in, there were several different cones in the road. The bottom of those barrel cones were in the road. So you want to make sure, because those are things that you typically don't see because they're black on the roadways and you just simply ride past it, then you see someone trying to veer off at the last minute. Those are the things this morning that I drove in on my ride into work this morning is what I got a chance to see. So to see those things out on the road early this morning before the rain even got here is definitely worries me for those rides in and those commutes into wherever you're going today. I want to say work. Some people do have to work on a Sunday.
Hello.
Hey, just taking a look. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to jump in on this. And if we throw up the radar, just to remind people that we have a severe thunderstorm warning in place. And I only say this because it just made me think about, you're talking about like cones and tree limbs down earlier, but now this particular storm, winds estimated now moving to the Nocatee area. World Golf Village is going to be in the end of it, so around like Bucky's, Durban, around US 1, and now moving right over TPC Sawgrass, which if we got any contacts at TPC, I would love to know if they're good, because they have all the temporary tents set up and everything like that. Tomorrow's media day, and you can see Jack's Beach, and it's moving right over Ponte Beach right now. 60-mile-per-hour winds estimated per the severe thunderstorm warning here, and also penny-size hail, which.
And what's the description? I know that you have the list of, you have the dime, the quarter, the penny. The impact of that hitting your car, no matter what, is a great impact. And whether it's a small dent or a big dent, it can affect your car. So if you do have a garage, you can pull your car into the garage today, or parking in the parking lot versus parking out on the street if you can. And
this is actually current estimated wind. So this is based on radar velocity. I'm trying to pull up. Wow, look at that, 60 miles per hour, pushing right over Palm Valley there. So we're talking about right around Michler's Landing, down through Nocatee there. Actually, let me try to move this a little bit down. And so next, that is moving fast right along the Guano Reserve. I believe that's how you pronounce it. 81A, World Golf Village, Bucky's area. They're going to, actually, I'm going to try to pull up, if we have a camera there? Or
we have another crash to tell you about on
I-95. Yeah, please. And then I'm going to pull up that camera right there on 295. Where's the crash at?
Yes, as you're working on that, Duval County I-295 southbound between mile marker 15 and 14. It's not showing us a picture of the crash exactly. They're saying it's minor, but it's an incident right there on the road. Hopefully we can pop that up as we're seeing it. But again, the road conditions are what we're dealing with. Even here at the station, we're downtown, right across from the Everbank Stadium. We're hearing the thunder, the louds, the roaring. I got a chance to peek my head out the door just to see, describing what you see in downtown Jacksonville, heavy rain. And we were wondering, Robert, how long it's been since we had a rain like this. Well, when was our last
we had rain? Wednesday we had the good shot.
Yeah.
But the difference is between today and Wednesday is like you said, like this, is the steady rain. And it's been a couple months that we've had just this steady, prolonged precipitation, which is why we have that weather impact alert, because it's one rain on top of each other. So it's saturated grounds. Because this is not the end of it, guys. This is the what we're tracking right now, but then we're going to have more rain this afternoon, then tonight, and then tomorrow morning. Are you here for Good Morning Jacksonville?
Yes, I am. Good Morning Jacksonville. So we'll be here probably early, most likely just to get you and help you get on the road. And I'm just taking a look at the clouds.
So
the clouds, looking at those. That's the
do you know what this
sight.
type of cloud is called? I say it all the time.
I was going to say, is it cumulus? Is it?
Ooh, close. Cumulonimbus. Cumulonimbus. So big cumulus.
My linguistics doesn't do well with that, but that's okay.
To get even nail it down even more so, this is a shelf cloud or a roll cloud. So what's happening, this is by International Golf Parkway. So I say Buc-ee's because everybody knows where Buc-ee's is.
Right.
So this is Buc-ee's looking north off of International Golf Parkway. This storm is moving about 55, 60 miles per hour. The water is coming out of the base of the cloud and it's thrusting out and it's creating evaporative cooling. So that's thrusting up and it's creating this cloud in the foreground. And that is a telltale sign that the wind is racing. So these people driving northbound on 95 right here are about to drive into
it.
Yeah, like wall. Zero visibility in the next few moments as this races towards the south on this severe thunderstorm warning.
I mean, it's always pretty to see from a distance, when we're looking at this. And I think you guys, what do they say? You guys geek out when you see certain clouds and different type of rain conditions too across the board, whether it's hurricanes or, tornadoes or even snowstorms. But taking a peek at Edgewood, this is what I was trying to pull up. If you are in this area, it's kind of like almost at a 2-lane. Let me just double check where we are. Yes. So we are at those 2 left lanes are still blocked off. And this has just been updated too as well. So this crash, of course, in Duval County on I-95 South at Edgewood Avenue. So you can still make a right off of Edgewood Avenue, but taking a look at the picture, if you were headed, if you're still headed, continuing on right off of I-95 North and Lem Turner, that's when you're going to see those that traffic backed up. The accidents are gonna happen. The rain is coming down. It's consistent. It's gonna be throughout the day. So again, I know that people say you're being dramatic and, but if you don't have to be out on the road and you love your car, I would definitely stay home.
Actually, thankfully, the comments today, and by the way, can we jump back to my camera real quick? I want to show you this. So this is it's getting dark real quick down at Royal Golf Village. The comments today have been pretty responsible. People are saying, I'm trying to level with people saying, this is not a tornado warning at this moment, but you want to be smart, and hopefully we're helping a few people out today from making bad decisions.
How quickly can this turn? Because I've seen it here. I've seen whether you guys step out for a second, go get coffee, go to the bathroom, and you come back, and you can tell because you guys, they have their watches on, folks at home. I just have to tell you how updated our meteorologists are here at the station. They're constantly updating you on the latest information that you need to know so you can stay safe. But it can happen in a matter of seconds, a split second, I should say.
Yeah, and we don't need a tornado warning to get some damage here. And I pulled up this velocity because that gust front now moving offshore south of Ponte Vedra, which I am still very curious if we've got any reports out of TBC. That gust front is that's moving at about 50 miles per hour. It's not going to relocate your house.
Right.
But it is making, as you just said, Edgewood, a car accident. We had one this morning in Dames Point. We had a car flip over on I-295 just an hour ago. There's a lot of just problematic conditions, not to mention power outages, things like that, which is why, the National Weather Service has this severe thunderstorm warning in place for another 15 minutes.
Do you think that this weather it's going to bleed into tomorrow? It could affect anything at TPC Sawgrass?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think tomorrow morning, it depends on if they got any damage out there, right? Tomorrow morning it's going to be messy, but the games don't start on Monday.
But media day for us.
Media day, yeah.
Okay.
And it will be windy. If they were playing tomorrow, it would be interesting because we're expecting a solid northwest wind at like 30 miles per hour all day long. So it would be very tough. That's why they're pros. I mean, it'd be slicing and whatever you call it. I don't play golf. Slicing and dicing is what I was going to say.
Well, we are continuing on with a severe thunderstorm warning. So, Robert, I do have to say, some people say it's not that serious because it's severe weather, but severe weather can have somewhat a similar effect as such as a tornado, early tornado warning, right?
Yeah, and you got to remember some of these. Now, this one in particular is not to that level. Sometimes we get a severe thunderstorm warning that has 70-mile-per-hour winds in it. So a lot of people have gotten to that point in their lives where they say it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. But look at this. This is I-95. That's the outlet malls on the left of the screen there. So it gives you a bearing of where you are here in St. Augustine. And yeah, that's not pleasant looking. And within that, we're looking at 40, 50-mile-per-hour winds racing towards the south on I-95 here. We've been getting comments from people saying it's going dark. Real quick, in fact, get off before Edgewood Katie says, I'm going to read a couple of the comments. Bobby said it was falling earlier. The sky was falling. Susie says, today we need boats instead of cars on here. Because there's a lot of rain, Susie. But all joking aside, a moment ago, we saw somebody racing up the St. Johns River right before the storm hit in a boat. Don't be that person.
Taking a look at I-95 Edgewood still, you can see that it's starting to build up. So as the morning progresses, we're at 11:04 right now, and just about 20 minutes ago it was just down to 2 lanes. It's still down to those 2 left lanes are blocked off, and these are accidents, crashes to tell you about. No word yet on if there's any injuries in this, but I can see someone standing outside of the car right there in the left-hand lane with an umbrella.
Right below the sign says Zoo Parkway, and I'm going to publicly shame somebody. See that truck racing up there? They're like passing everybody, zooming in and out of traffic.
Yeah.
Like, don't be that person. I see people racing up, and then they're slamming their brakes at the last second. These roads are wet.
Right. That's definitely something you want to just, of course, hydroplaning is a thing during this time too as well. Just give yourself time and space. Prepare early for today. If you have to be somewhere by 2 o'clock today, just make sure you put an extra hour or 30 minutes onto your drive time. Where, as you can see, the police are right there on the road, right off to the left-hand side. I'm just trying to see. We can't quite zoom in because these are Florida 511's cameras. But as we're taking a look, we're seeing some of the people who probably were inside of that car standing outside of it and probably assessing that situation and that incident, that accident. So again, no word yet on any accidents or crashes. I know the Dames Point Bridge was closed for about 2.5 hours. That's my guesstimate. Since this morning, it is now reopened on the Dames Point Bridge, but that accident was quite extensive. It was multiple cars in that accident this morning. We had an accident on the Iron Bridge too as well. If you do have to be outside, you could see this officer putting on that safety vest just so people can see you. So folks at home, I know I have pretty much everything in my car, Robert, just in case of an emergency. That safety vest in the back of the car, just in case. You never know when a situation may happen on the side of the road, but just be careful. It's the debris in Jacksonville that I notice on the roads a lot, especially on I-95 with trucks and cars. A lot of people who work very hard have pickup trucks out here in this area, and things sometimes fall off their cars, and it's in the middle of the road. So you definitely want to be careful because you won't see that when you're hydroplaning, or even if it's just a regular normal day and the roads are dry, you kind of see it too late. But when you're mixing that with wet weather, it's this recipe for a disaster.
Just going a little bit south of, can you throw my camera back up here? Just a little south of St. Augustine. There we go. Got that shelf cloud coming in. And I do want to stress this. We're talking about, where Edgewood is there. We're showing that. But let's remember that is behind this line of storms right now. So they've already kind of got the worst of it there. Still slick roads. But I want to pull up the radar and show you where it's coming. Because for the Celtic Festival, let's say you're watching out here in St. Augustine, guys. We got a severe thunderstorm warning on the north side of this. That is just for Volano Beach. I'm going to pop up because the radar, there's a special weather statement over St. Augustine. Might not be severe, but this line is racing in, and that's going to be there in the next few minutes. St. Augustine Beach. We just saw it move over the World Golf Village area. This is actually just south of the outlet malls, looking towards the north. See that shelf cloud working its way overhead here, and within that, we're looking at winds gusting upwards of about 40 to 50 miles per hour. This is actually a live look I'm pulling up right now. Look at that. Just on the right.
It's a beauty shot.
It's a beauty shot, but it's dark and scary on
Yeah.
the right side of the screen there.
That's St. Augustine?
Yes.
Is that
So-
what we're looking at?
Yeah, we're looking at the marina. Got some of the buildings downtown out there as well.
Can we take a look at the Bridge of Lions, too, if we can pull that
Yeah,
up, too, just to
the only
see?
problem with the Bridge of Lines is that we're going to be looking away from the clouds.
Oh, okay. So
like,
that's,
the
we don't
bridge-
have to.
Yeah, I want to try to focus on the storm here, but I pulled it up anyways, so you can get an idea of the 360 view here. So that's looking
Yeah.
away.
So it's not bad, but that's what I wanted to for folks to see at home. This is a difference. Just turn to the left, turn to the right, and you see those dark clouds. And honestly, even you noticed it when we were talking about over by TPC Sawgrass. That's a nice shot too. The flag in the scene, you can see how those winds are.
This is
so
Volano
strong
Beach,
too,
so
as well.
just north of St. Augustine. So right where you have kind of that, where you see the tip of the severe thunderstorm warning there, that's where that camera's out at. Sorry, go ahead.
Some questions that I'm getting. How long is this going to last, Robert?
Okay, so this specific round, where are they? Did they say specifically?
They are St. Augustine.
Okay, so St. Augustine is going to be coming on through, and this is going to last probably about 30, 40 minutes of this kind of heavier stuff. We're going to get a good shot of the damaging wind, or damaging, if you got a tent outside for the Celtic Fest, that could be damaging. It could blow a tent. But that's going to last just a few minutes. This is moving fast, this initial band. But then we can pull back the broader picture, and you see out towards Tallahassee, Valdosta area, that is the next wave. We're getting these waves that are pushing on through. And then we got another wave tonight. So we got these lulls in between. So this one is only going to last a few minutes as it pushes on by. Oops, wrong button. Racing towards the south. And then even into tomorrow morning, we're still going to be seeing rounds of rainfall. So if you're out there at the Celtic Festival and you know anybody and you're watching and you know somebody who's out there having a good old time at the fest, you don't need to go home, but go inside, ride it out, get some lunch, and let this pass on by real quick. Because this is also kicking out a lot of lightning too. So I don't want people to be outside either in the lightning here as it pushes on through. You got any other questions there?
Someone else that I'm texting saying that they had to change some plans with their car dealer because of the weather. So those are just people taking heed to what we're saying this morning, because it's definitely something that you don't want to have to deal with. But taking a look, you said this is Volano Beach, right?
Yeah, this is Volano Beach.
Area. I just remind people to, when you are driving around and you see those flags moving, oftentimes it takes a good 25-mile wind gust, not for this flag, but the bigger flags that you typically see inside of the car lots, those big flags. It takes a lot of wind power for those flags to move. So that's how you know how extensive the severe weather is, and just making sure you're careful. But I like to remind people, when you're out on the road, no texting, right? Make sure you have your seatbelt on, slow down, and the windshield wipers are everything. I recently got new windshield wipers, Robert. It was like the best gift to myself that I could do, because you don't realize how bad you need these things until you go get your oil change
Also
in there.
cleaning off
Yes.
those the headlights
Yes.
too.
That too, because with the amount of pollen that has been out, going back and forth through the car wash too, hopefully this rain will help clean off some of those cars too. But just definitely remember, you have your check sheet. We know what to do when we're out in it. But for the folks like myself who are new to the areas, and you're in a different area, you're in St. Augustine and you're not familiar, and you don't know what areas that are prone to flooding, like in San Marco, and you park in the wrong area and you come back and your car is flooded out. Those are the things that you want to stay away from. Make sure you ask around before you're parking. Is this a flood-prone area? Check to see stories. Pull up firstcoastnews.com to see what areas are good to park in, what areas are to stay away from during severe weather.
And I just want to remind people, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning. That's in southern Duval, northern St. John's. That will expire in 3 minutes. So it's here on the screen, just a reminder, but that area just south of that, encompassing all of St. Johns County. So St. Augustine down towards about Marineland, you're under a special weather statement. So about 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. So as we've been talking, this is still going to be some messy conditions out here on the roadways as this nears St. Augustine. And right there, you're just looking at the live camera. So this is the glamour shot, as you like to call it,
Yes.
over St. Augustine. That, whew, you're going to get messy there in a moment. It's a Celtic Fest, so I'm sure everybody's out there having a grand old time, but hopefully they get inside and just, ride this one out. It's only going to last a few minutes. Ooh, where's that shot? I-295, mile marker at 311. So I assume...
We're checking. That's in
St.
St. John's
John's.
County. And Haja had call TP Sawgrass, some of the organizers there. We're working to see exactly what's happening as of today. I'm getting some people are asking me, are they moving things indoors at TPC Sawgrass? We are checking on that. So don't worry. We are on it right now, double checking those questions. Any other questions, of course, feel free to put it in that Dropbox. Robert, what is that, Facebook?
On Facebook and YouTube. We're streaming live on both of those. Also, you can watch us on First Coast News Plus. We really appreciate it. Anywhere you're watching.
Yeah.
Also, please share. I don't like being that stereotypical person that says like, subscribe, share. But it does help if you share this out and gets people a little bit more informed. And
Yeah.
I would like to hear about TPC Saltgrass from not only from a meteorological perspective, but that it will have potentially big impacts if there is, I'm not saying there's damage, but if there is something, it could have some influence. Hopefully not. Hopefully they tied everything down.
If you're seeing me look down, it's because I'm reaching out to my contacts, folks.
Oh,
so
yeah. And I think
bear
people
with
at
us.
home understand that because half the time I'm looking down too. We both got computers in front of us. Jasmine's on the phone over there. So.
I work faster.
So that's why oftentimes I'm looking down. Very serious face here.
Yeah.
But, we're trying to keep you guys informed and while talking at the same time. So shout out to our managers, too, for a few people have wrote me from our management and it's been like, you good? Like, man, I'm a meteorologist. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than talking about this weather here with you, especially in a day like today.
So it's your fault, right?
Yeah. I planned this. I paid for it. I was like, I'm working Sunday. Let's go. There's a live look at Jack's Beach on your left, St. Augustine on the right. And, you got that shelf cloud pushing right overhead. So we're going to stick on St. Augustine's camera here for a moment because it is about to go down. I say we're going to stick on it, and then I'm going to jump. So I want to show you where the radar is. There we go. That's the radar. Just about to enter the Matanzas Inlet area there. So like the Volano Beach boat ramps, just about to get it downtown, right near the fort. Nick, I don't know. Can we pull up the fort camera in here? On air? Oh, man. It would be nice if we could pull up the camera at the fort because on air we do have that access, but we don't have in this particular studio. We have two different studios where we do the news and then we do our live streaming in here. But here we go. So this is right next to the Bridge of Lions. The Celtic Fest going on right now out there in St. Augustine. Shout out to the oldest St. Patrick's Day parade in the country. That was yesterday, thankfully. Today, it would be a messy day if it was here. 11:15 a.m., by the way. And I want to remind, if you're just jumping on to the stream, shout us those comments, those questions. Today is a weather impact alert day. That's what it says on the bottom of the screen. We're tracking the severe thunderstorms that have been moving across the First Coast. Goodness, hey, can you drop the lower third? Okay, guy. Hope that person gets out to their boat real fast. Sorry, I just saw that that caught my eye. Somebody, it looks like they're probably anchored just offshore and they're trying to get off to it. But anyways, you can pop it back up now. I was curious if that was a little boat there. So we issue these not as hype or anything, but today we've had some decent storms and we've had good engagement. A lot of people talking here on this stream. Truly appreciate you guys' feedback. Hopefully we've helped a few of you out today. Like I've said in the past, we don't get paid more if more people watch. Our goal is to make sure you're staying safe and informed. And at the same time, from a point of view of me, is we get to kind of geek out a little bit as we watch these storms work their way across the First Coast. So I always appreciate the feedback. Jasmine, you got something?
Yes, I do. I've got some great information for folks out there who are headed out to TPC Sawgrass. You definitely want to listen up. There's one event that's happening today. It's a mothers-to-be baby shower that should be happening around noon today. So this is just coming into the newsroom. They are just just moving that indoors. So it is not canceled. It's just moved to indoors. So if you were headed out there to the area, still play it safe, still be careful, no cell phones. I say even turn the music down when you're driving in these conditions. Even taking a peek outside of the window here in downtown Jacksonville, the rain is still coming down consistently. But again, TPC Sawgrass, a mothers-to-be baby shower event is happening still. It's not canceled. It's just being moved indoors, and that's happening around noon. So that's information that just came into our newsroom. So we do appreciate that. We spoke to the PR person over there, and Hodges just texted me some more information on it. We are thanking PGA Tour, Public Relations Outreach. They moved it indoors. The players will partner with the nonprofit Operation Shower to host a special baby shower celebrating military moms to be. So that was happening, or is still happening, at noon today, from noon till 2 p.m., but that's just moved indoors. So that's all we want to get out there. Folks, if you have anything else, any other questions, we do love to get them because we can answer those questions quickly for you. So just spread the word that it's just being moved indoors so you can still head out there.
Lewis says, is this late news or news? This is a live stream here at First Coast News. We were just trying our best to keep you guys informed. I've been here since 3 a.m. or whatever time it is because the clock's changed. We're just trying to keep you informed here, and that's the goal. 24 hours news. This is a live look at the Castillo de San Marco. Did I say it right?
Castillo de San Marco.
I always say it wrong.
Okay.
But anyways, I see some people running.
You have to say it fast.
Castillo de good. See, I just messed it up. But anyways, the Matanzas Inlet right there in the background. It looks like you can see the Spanish flag just blow. No, that's a Florida flag. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. Blowing in the wind there.
It's okay.
Got to get it right. But this is the leading edge of this strong thunderstorm. Carol says, just yuck. These are the comments I'm getting over here. Just yuck. But yes, I get what you're saying here. This is messy. It's going to go downhill real fast here out at the fort in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Susie says, not nice for Mother Nature to give us this weather when we already lost an hour of sleep. Darn right, Susie.
True.
I hear ya. Goodness. And Heather Smith says, all quiet here now in Regency, but there is still the wind. I do want to remind you that it may be quiet at the moment, and hopefully we get a nice little break here midday, but more weather is on its way. Is that I thought that was a bird in the middle of the screen. It's a flag blowing. It's like that bird ain't going nowhere. It's because it's a flag. This over downtown St. Augustine, by the way, both of these shots, one at the marina by the Bridge of Lions, which I think I'll pull up the Bridge of Lions. You were just asking about that a moment ago. Let's see what it looks like looking at the bridge now.
Sorry, I'm going to head out.
Oh, you're taking off? All right. Well, thank you again for the update at TPC. So what was it again? You said there was...
TPC Sawgrass Military Moms to Be. It's just moving indoors.
So nothing has been canceled.
Nothing canceled as of right now.
Thank
at this very second.
Jasmine, thank you so much for jumping in here. I truly appreciate it. If you guys hear anything else, just scream. We'll try our best to keep you guys informed.
They're texting me along the way, so I'm answering questions along the way.
Thank you. And Jasmine doesn't need to be in here. She's working on her own stories and everything, so I truly appreciate you coming in and talking a little weather with us. This is a live look. That's out by the Matanzas Inlet, and usually this looks at the Bridge of Lions. It's not at the moment. I wonder what's going on there. Hey, look, there's a look at the Bridge of Lions. Thank you very much, Nick. We got these cameras out here in St. Augustine. Love these. Usually you can see the lighthouse off in the distance. Not today, but look at the flag on the right side of the screen. Thankfully, I'm not seeing anybody out there walking around, so hopefully the very obvious shelf cloud that was rolling at them sent people inside. Sometimes that's not the case, guys. Sometimes you're like, Jesus, can you all just go inside? This is rolling past St. Augustine, though. Let's pull up a camera a little bit further towards the south. Hastings, just about to see it work its way over towards you guys. Ooh, nice. I'm trying to see if... Oh, and Palaca as well. Whew, look at Palaca. Let's pull up their shot. Palaca is just about to pass over you. Like I said, I love you guys out here in Palaca. One of my favorite towns to go visit, right there on the river. This is a live shot, though, over the marina. in Palatka. It is going right now. Let's zoom in. Let's see if we got a little bit further towards the west. So this is just the west side of Palatka out here. Let's see if I pop up the camera. Might get more of those. So this is just a mile or two to the west there, and I'm sure conditions are about to go downhill here as well. This is Jeffrey Smith Elementary, so that's where this camera is coming out of. And then we go back towards Putnam County EOC. So that's actually the Putnam County Emergency Operations Center we were just looking at there a moment ago. It looked like it was right on the river. That's interesting. Or unless, did you put up a camera there?
Earlier.
Oh, here. Okay, so what we were looking at, where was that on the river there? What was that shot?
It's 312.
Oh, okay. All right.
US 1.
US 1. Okay, gotcha. So this is right over Palatka. This is their emergency operations center right now. Not looking too great, I'll tell you that. Let's look over towards I-295. So this is due west of Marineland, where this line is rolling on through. Another look at the nice solid shelf cloud starting to enter into that area too. And we go back to our radar. We're continuing to track these storms as they're shifting towards the south. Got a email about a fatal collision in Middleburg. Let me read this before I share any incorrect information. And this is the vehicle is traveling a vehicle turned right, overturned, so it looks like they flipped over, and on 6 a.m. So that was this morning. Okay. All right. So you'll probably see about that at the 6 o'clock news. I'm not going to read too much about that, but just because I want to make sure I get it right. I'm a meteorologist. I don't want to report about a fatality here. But it's bad out there today, guys. So let's make sure we're staying safe on the roadways. Heart goes out to family involved in that. Back to the weather, though, and we'll make sure we'll try to keep everybody safe here. Got a little notch there, just around St. Augustine. I'm curious about that. Let's pull up the velocity. And I'm going to only stay with you guys for a few more minutes here, and then I don't see any rotation. That's good. Once this gets to the southern end of St. Johns County, I'm going to pull back the picture, and we're going to walk through all of this one more time, and then we're going to take a nice solid break here for a little while after the storm kind of moves off there. But looks like Butler Beach, Marineland, it's coming up on you pretty soon. Hastings as well. Conditions are going to start to go downhill there for you. Let's actually pull up the Marineland camera. Ooh, oh, yeah, the gator. I love my favorite camera here is the gator camera at the alligator farm. It is always gives me a good little chuckle just seeing those guys out there doing their thing, being alligators. And also the most Florida camera we have, right? And over the Gator Farm, over St. Augustine, of course, heavy rainfall falling right now. But over downtown St. Augustine and let's say World Golf Village, already starting to see some improvement. So this is not lasting terribly long, but you can see the leading edge of this. This is on I-295 just west of Marineland, starting to see conditions go downhill there. But then we look back towards, let's scoot back towards the north over downtown Jacksonville real quick and on the camera, and I just want to show you it's a far cry from what we're seeing further towards the south. It ain't beautiful yet, and it's not going to be today. Today is just going to be rough the rest of the day. We kind of have those stratiform clouds out there on the back side of this. Let's actually, now that we're continuing to watch this, I'm going to take a broader look here before I lose my voice and talk about what's going on, because we still have this special weather statement with this storm that we have been tracking this back towards Valdosta. Over Jacksonville, still seeing a little bit of rain, but we have this break on the backside of it. It is not over yet, because you look towards the west, look at Valdosta, Tallahassee, another line of storms. And then we might see some daytime heating in the midst of this. that could flare up another round on top of that, which is why there's a flood watch in place across the entire First Coast due to the repeated rounds of rain. We had one around 7 a.m. We got this round coming through right now. We're going to have another round this afternoon and probably another round this evening. So yeah, that's why we have throughout the day here today and heading into tomorrow morning a weather impact alert in place for widespread storms. Make sure you have the First Coast News app handy. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, download the First Coast News app because you will get push notifications. One, if we go live, if you like me talking here, I suppose. But also you're going to get push alerts on severe thunderstorms and things like that if you start to develop over our area. This is looking ahead to, you know what, this model probably not handling this too well because it's initializing that storm towards the north. But let's look ahead a little bit later in the evening because it does pick up on another round by this afternoon through the evening, pushing across our area. That could produce, and I think this one is going to produce another round of potentially severe storms later on tonight. So closer to sunset and just after sunset, we can see that moving through. And then this is 4:30 in the morning tomorrow, so this is in time for your morning commute. We're going to have the actual low pressure area in the front move through. That's going to bring that chance of some storms flaring up just in time for Good Morning Jacksonville. So we're going to be tracking it there as well as this pushes on by. So we still have, after this shot that we're tracking across St. Johns and Flagler County, we got more rain in our forecast, more storms. There is still that chance of some severe weather. And especially heading into this evening, there is that chance maybe of some tornadic activity. What am I looking at? I see 10 and 17? Jacksonville. Oh, yeah. So this is right downtown, isn't it? And this looks like another car wreck, guys. I do not like that. I'm going to pull it up and let's see. Goodness. This is actually, you can leave that up on the screen. What I'm showing right now is the actual, we're going to pull back the picture here. Yeah, so it looks like, a little bit of backup there. This is 1017 right in that area. We got some rain falling. The roads are slick, friends. You don't need to be in a severe thunderstorm warning to have slick roads. And this rain is going to be pretty persistent through the rest of the day. So another person on top of the news we just had of the fatality this morning in a traffic accident. Then around 8, we had the Dames Point was pretty much shut down on the northbound. There was one lane open due to a traffic accident there. We just also had a rolled over car on 995 south of the Iron Bridge here about 2 hours ago. That's been since cleaned up. It's accident after accident after accident. And just be smart, be safe. You can't drive the way you normally drive out there on the roads today. Slow down. Still more rain here over the next few hours heading into this evening. And the other issue is the training that we're going to see. So we're looking at one round of rain after another. Think of trains on a train track. And that's why we call it training. So let's say these arrows are train carts. It's one after another, so it's just going to continue to saturate the grounds and could continue to bring that heavy rain and that threat of flooding, which is why we continue to look at that threat of flooding today. Let me talk about some good news. When's it going to be better, Robert? Stop being so pessimistic. Tomorrow afternoon. And tomorrow morning, we still have a weather impact alert in place to about 11 o'clock. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see some improving conditions. It will still be windy, though. Some gusty winds out of the west, 30, 35 miles per hour possible here with the gust. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up one of my graphics here that show us the wind model forecast. So this is just one model. But so here we go. So this is through the rest of today. And then heading into tomorrow, we get our low pressure area kicking on by. And look at this. This is by tomorrow night. So Monday, 5 p.m. This steady northwesterly wind. There's no rain, probably sunny, but there's going to be this steady winds at about 20 to 30 miles per hour across the First Coast. So, you know, this whole storm system has layers. Not only this round we've been tracking that's moving across Crescent Beach into Marineland right now, but also we've been watching, you know, that next round that's going to come in, and then the next round after that, and then the winds on the back side of that as we head into tomorrow. I'm just scrolling through. I'm trying to see if I can pop up any different camera angles here as the storm's racing towards the south. And I think in a few minutes, I'm probably going to take a break. We're still going to be streaming live here So, you don't have to go anywhere. We'll still have a radar going and all that good stuff. But we're going to try to give me a little breather here. Big shout out to everybody who has been helping. I actually just got a push notification from somebody. Let me see. What did Sally just send me here? Something interesting. By the way, that's the shelf cloud on the top side of the screen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's told me about the I-10 and McDuff Avenue right lane blocked there as well. So it's another impact. I'm going to try to read through some questions real quick before I sign off here. I don't want to leave anybody hanging out in the cold here. Great job, Jasmine and Robert. Bobby, Super Scion, love your name, by the way, just absolutely fantastic. Jumps in here, and you know what? Extra shout out to Jasmine and also Haja for jumping in here. My voice is starting to get it. I can feel it. They came in and just even talking for a little bit about traffic and just shooting the banter here back and forth. It makes my life easier. Diane says it's cold in Rochester, New York. Diane. Yes, that's why we live in Florida. And Bobby says, thanks for all what you guys do. Thank you very much, Bobby, again, for jumping in on here. Let's see. Somebody said, remember, Mama Carol says, turn around, don't drown. Darn right. Thank you, Robert. I'm going to let my sheep run around some before the next ban. Could you tell me when the next ban in Hilliard and Folkestone area? Yes, I can. Let me pull up the radar here as we watch this. Is just west of Marineland, out towards Palm Coast. This line's working its way into there. But how about Hilliard and Folkestone? You're good for now. So you look at that. But there is more coming. You're not done yet. Although this next line I don't think is going to be as potent. You actually have a little bit of light rain kind of working its way on in there right now. I'm trying to grab my tool here. Let's plot this one over towards Valdosta. If this holds together, which it could fall apart by the time it gets out towards Folkestone, if it does hold together, it would be out towards your area around 1, 2 o'clock. And then I think we're going to another break after that, and then tonight is going to be the next kind of real hitter of storms. Granted, you see just west of Madison, there is a pretty decent cell right there. It's kind of flaring up some pretty decent lightning coming out of that. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. That one's alone, which is scary when they get a little bit of alone because they gather all the energy, and it looks kind of interesting there. It might be flirting with supercell development out there. So that's something we're going to watch there on I-10. Susie says, not nice, Mother Nature to give us this wet. Okay, I already read that one. And Edward says, thanks for the great weather reporting. Mama Carol says, thanks for being here. Thank you guys, all of you, for jumping in and asking questions, reports, comments. Keep it up. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, once again, weather impact alert in place for the rest of today, though. We're tracking these storms out here, guys, and we're going to keep you posted here on First Coast News. Myself, if I'm still here, but also meteorologist Ross Muma should be here this afternoon. They'll probably be streaming live too, talking about what's happening out here across the First Coast. But we're gonna still loop our graphics through our radar, and if you have the First Coast News app, you can actually just plot this stuff on your own and be your own little iPhone meteorologist. Yeah, but hey, if you got some photos, I would love to see them using that Near Me function on the app or using First Coast News weather watchers as well. All right, Nick, I'm going to at least take a break for a bit now. Yeah, so have a great day, guys. We're still watching these storms, so don't go anywhere, and make sure you have the app so you get the push notifications. And thanks for watching. Goodness gracious, a lot of engagement today, so thanks, guys.